up north, taking on Bruce Arena San Jose Earthquakes. The Quakes won the first match of these two in Frisco 4-2 after a pair of Dallas red cards. The Toros look for revenge tonight in the Valley as they face off against the Earthquakes. Along the lines of the FC Dallas Radio Network, it is the FC Dallas pregame show presented by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. On tonight's presentation, we'll hear from Fox Sports' national soccer anchor Rob Stone. Our commentary team for the evening, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis, will join me to break down tonight's matchup. But first, we bring in Steve Davis for a look at the major headlines of the week. Steve, how are we?
I don't think I knew San Jose was in a valley. I've been there.
It is. It is not. It's the Santa Clara Valley, not the ones that you're thinking of.
Okay, fair
San
enough.
Fernando or some of those other more notorious ones. But I did my research on this.
I'll
it is a
consider
Valley team.
myself educated. Howdy, Sam.
Oh, I'm doing pretty well here, but unfortunately, FC Dallas not doing so well. You were on the call for Saturday night when they lost 2-0 in a game that looked like a lot of FC Dallas games, unfortunately, as of late. And as every game goes by, we don't like to use the term must win on this particular presentation. But if Dallas wants to advance to the postseason in Eric Quill's first season, at the very minimum, they got to start stacking points, don't they?
Well, now, first of all, let me issue a correction. We had what I'd like to call pronoun trouble there because you said we like to use that term must win. That's a you like
I
to
say
use
we
it.
don't like to.
Oh, we don't? Okay, yes, that's right.
Yeah,
We've had this
I'm a
argument.
recovering must-win addict here.
Well put. All right. Well, the thing is, Sam, you're right. In the 9-team playoff format, East and West, 9 teams each, that they've used the last couple of years, the teams that make it into the postseason usually, in fact, it's averaged out to 43.5 points. So you could sort of set that as the mark that FC Dallas needs to get to probably to be in the conversation at least. Right now, they've got 21 points with 13 games remaining. So what they need to average is about a point, something north of 1.5, 1.6 points a game to get to that 43-point threshold, which would, at this point, that we'll just sort of use that as a marker of where they need to get into that maybe that 8 or 9 spot. So, you can do the math from there. What at the beginning of the year, I think where we wanted to see this team was, making the playoffs. Nobody thought this team was going to win the West, but kind of where San Jose is right now is where we wanted the team to be, sitting at 7 or 8 with 28 points, something like that, and Dallas isn't there, so they got some catching up to do, as you said.
Well, the group charged with trying to start that catch-up tonight: Martin Paz, Marco Farfan, Sebastian Biaga, Lalo Sabubakar, Josh Torquato, and Shaq Moore, Ka'ike Ramiro, Patrickson, Pedro Musa, and Bernard Kamungo. And, Steve, we don't know exactly what this is going to look like these days, but it's safe to say that it's probably going to be different from what we've come to expect from the 4-3-3, the 4-2-2, whatever, or 4-4-2, whatever you want to call it. And it seems like one of the things we've talked about a lot this season, Eric Quill has not been able to settle on exactly how he wants to line up. And, again, that happens tonight in San Jose as they're dealing with some injuries and some other issues.
Yeah, well, we think it's going to look like a 3-5-2, but heck, who knows? A lot goes into when you make a sort of radical change because we know it's been almost exclusively 4 in the back. Now they're going to 3 in the back this year. So I think a lot of it is just you got to keep trying something different. A team with 1 league win since April, just 1 win in the last 11 league matches. You can't just keep running it back. As far as Josh Torquato getting the first start, what I always like to see with a young player like that is hopefully they prepared a sort of a smaller package of responsibilities, so to speak. I don't want to see a young player sort of overloaded with information. Be sure you watch this and be sure to take care of that and be sure you're doing this. I hope they're just giving him, a couple of simple options with the ball, a couple of simple options, a couple of simple responsibilities on defense because, let's face it, he's going to be over there on that side with that fellow named Christian Espinoza, and that's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. And, on the other side, we're seeing Shaq Moore get a start. Mm-hmm. And, he obviously didn't have the best game against LAFC. Mm-hmm. But some of that might be the guy has just played just about every game that they've played. And I know that there's no obvious depth, and we'll talk about the window as we get closer to it. But credit to that guy. He's going out there and he's being a warrior every game. But bodies just break down over time. And I think we're very much in the concern zone for him through no fault of his own, just bodies get tired at points.
Yeah. I'll add on top of that, Sam. Mentally, you get a little tired too. Game after game, you're out there. He's been playing against some pretty good wingers, so you're right. But it's not just the body; it's the mind. I mean, one of the issues is, as you said, a little bit bad injury luck on a couple of guys that could have come in and filled in at right back. So there's just not a good backup over there. Your first backup right now, I guess you would say, is Ramiro, but I think we saw the other day, especially until he got tired, or maybe that's exactly the point. When he was fresh, I thought he really organized the midfield pretty well, organized them defensively. You saw him, directing others around him. So you need Ramiro sitting in front of those center backs, especially today in the way we think they're going to get it formatted. So Shaq's just got to be a warrior and got to keep playing.
Yeah, the depth chart looks in some order of Shaq, Lalo Abubakar, Ramiro, and maybe North Texas's Malachi Molina. Not exactly what you were planning for 20-plus games into the season. And obviously the big news there, no Lucho Acosta tonight. He is out with yellow card suspension after he picked up one against LAFC. No Pedrinho. He's out for personal reasons tonight. And that leaves Dallas with kind of a weird situation. Due to injuries and transfers, they have no wingers, and due to the things I just mentioned, they don't really have a traditional 10. It means that Petar Musa and Bernard Kamungo, your forwards tonight, somebody's going to get them the ball. We just don't really know who at this point.
Right. So I do worry that there's a little lack of creativity out there, especially as Lletget isn't in the starting 11. But how they're going to score, I think that might have another something to do with why they're lined up this way. They've got to get some width in the attack. Shaq Moore has got to supply some crosses from the right side. It's got to be Torquato from the left side. I hope they're going to attack the wings. Christian Espinosa, as dangerous as he is on the San Jose attack, he doesn't really want to come back and defend. So maybe if they can keep Torquato really wide when they get the ball, you got to establish possession to get those wing backs up a little bit. But if they can push him up, get him into those wide areas, maybe he can get some service into Petar Musa. Now, the thing is, Musa can't drop in too deep. He's got to be there waiting for those crosses when they come.
Oh, that might be a question about that in segment 3. I love when you give me a little tease and a little nugget to play with. Well, before we talk about San Jose, I mentioned the transfer window opens in about 10 days or so. Dallas has been active already. Leo Chu, it was announced on Saturday, has gone to Portugal. We've obviously seen Antonio Carrera leave. Shaul Kafumano's loan ended. So Dallas is rumored to be in the market for a couple players right now without caring about the specifics, because I'm not asking you to watch all the World Leagues. How do you feel about just a team that clearly needs to make some changes already being active in the market before it even opens?
So the first thing you say there is that what they're doing is sort of clearing the deck a little bit, clearing the runway so something else can land on the doggone thing. With Chu moving on, with not renewing the loan for show, Antonio Carrera moves on. So now they've got a little bit of roster space in there. They've got international space. There's space for international spots. So you can read the internet as well as I can, and there's reporting out there that FC Dallas is in for a winger right now. So we'll see what happens, but it looks like they've made maneuvers that at least give them some flexibility.
Well, let's talk about San Jose a little bit here, because even though they came into Frisco and gave Dallas the business, although Dallas had some self-inflicted wounds themselves, San Jose hasn't been great at PayPal Park this year. 11 matches, just 3 wins, although Dallas would kill for 2 more wins at home. That said, the last win for San Jose was that 4-2 victory here in Frisco. They have a couple draws and a loss, but nothing super special. But the big key there, and we'll dive into the very specifics of it in segment 3, is that vaunted San Jose attack. Obviously, Chicho Arango and Josef Martinez with Christian Espinosa. I mean, that's a Cerberus that every team in the league has a problem dealing with.
Well, FC Dallas, what do they say? If it wasn't for bad luck, they wouldn't be having any luck at all this year.
You ain't lying.
Christian Espinosa gets a big gash on his leg in a U.S. Open Cup loss a couple of weeks ago. That also was at home. So, as you said, not doing really well at home, doing really well on the road, but just pretty mediocre at home so far. But Espinosa gets that big gash. He has to miss the game last week against Minnesota, and they kind of got clocked in that one. As I said, FC Dallas, not a lot of luck here. Who's back tonight? Christian Espinosa. And, man, he's so good. He was just named to the All-Star team. 4 straight seasons of 11-plus assists. He scored a couple of times, or rather he had a couple of assists in that 4-2 win back here in Texas a couple of weeks ago. So Espinosa's a good one. And then those guys that he's serving, Josef Martinez, Chicho Arango, they've been class forwards in the league for a long time. Josef Martinez, he's not the 27 or 31 goal scorer that he was back in his peak at Atlanta, but he's still a guy that will get you 8 to 10 goals a year. 124 goals, 6th all-time MLS leading scorer. That's saying something.
He's about the ideal second striker in a setup like San Jose, where his goal is sit behind Chicho Arango and score the goals he can't get to. It's a pretty good gig if you can get it. But that is Steve Davis, who also has a pretty good gig if you can get it. We will talk to him and Ryan in our third segment. Steve, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
When we return here on the FC Dallas pregame show, we'll have a special preview of the FC Dallas agenda. This is FC Dallas Soccer presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
So, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, just took the Tacoma off-road, deep into the woods, got to this hidden campsite only it could reach.
Nice. I hooked up the boat to the Tundra and hit up the lake. Towed it like a pro. Had the whole lake to ourselves.
Hey, wait, did I mention I went rock climbing too? Uh-huh, yeah, thanks to the Tacoma's crawl control.
Well, sounds like we both had fun weekends.
Mine was better.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for all the fun. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care. At 4 days old, she received a stent to help her heart pump blood to the rest of her body. And today, she's a happy, healthy 1-year-old. That's incredible. That's Children's Health. Incredible together.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi everyone, it's Logan Farrington, and you're listening to FC Dallas Soccer on the FC Dallas app.
Winner, winner, Chick-fil-A dinner. All season long when FC Dallas wins at home, fans win free Chick-fil-A. Be sure your Chick-fil-A app is up to date. Location services are turned on when you attend matches at Toyota Stadium. After the team wins, before you leave your seats, open the app to redeem the Chick-fil-A offer. Welcome back to the FC Dallas pregame show presented by Toyota here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. In our next segment, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis join me. We'll break down the lineups, the tactics, everything you need to know about tonight's MLS After Dark recap of an original MLS matchup from 1996. But while I have a moment, let me remind you about the FC Dallas Radio Network podcast feed, which is your hub for all things FC Dallas audio. Of course, you got the post-game show, everything you need to know about the game that was in 30 minutes or less, sometimes even less. I think the last one clocked in at 19 minutes. You can't beat efficiency from our team. Everything you need to know in less than it took to get a pizza in the 90s. That's our slogan. Well, it's my slogan. I don't ask anyone else to do it. But then, of course, this year we have the FC Dallas agenda. Ryan, Steve, and Garrett every week bring you game recaps, analysis, big thoughts, small thoughts, everything you need to know about the week that was in FC Dallas. And, of course, great guests. We've had Eric Quill. We've had Andre Zanata, Leo Baldo, Pater Musso, Saze Uragide. Anyone that's anyone has appeared on the FC Dallas agenda. So what do you need to do to get the agenda, the post-game show, and much, much more? Type in FC Dallas Radio Network to your podcast provider of choice. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our free content whenever it comes out live. And speaking of the FC Dallas agenda, tonight we're going to bring you a special look at our most recent episode to give you a little bit of an expectation of things you can hear. And our most recent episode featured a very special guest. It was Fox's top soccer anchor, Rob Stone. Here's him and Steve Davis talking a little bit about FC Dallas Academy product and current USMNT budding star, Chris Richards.
You know, Rob, standing on the Gold Cup, I really do feel like there are good conversations to be had about the U.S. performances at the Gold Cup if you want to dissect them properly and thoughtfully. I know it's easy to say USMNT good, USMNT bad. But one of the easy ones I think to have for me is that we really saw this leader emerge on the back line in Chris Richards. And I think we saw him grow. I think we saw good performances. I think we saw him as a leader. But I want to hear what you have to say about that, and if there was any other good, easy conversation to be had there.
Yeah, it's a great topic because we know the success he had overseas in the spring and, winning the FA Cup for Crystal Palace. So I think a lot of people would look at a guy like Chris Richards and say, all right, he's been overseas for X years. It's time for him to kind of take that step, whatever that step is, whether that's maturity, whether that's dominance, whether that's leadership, whatever it is. But Chris Richards, I think there's a lot of people that were hitting the button saying, all right, I need to see that now. Like it's time to appear. And 100% to his credit, he has risen to it. He has become one of the leaders. He's become an absolute mainstay. He is a lock on that back line. He is going to be one of your central defenders, assuming they go with 2 in the middle and 2 out wide. I think this was a great summer for him to validate himself to a new manager, Mauricio Pochettino, to introduce himself to an American fan base, and also a great opportunity for his agent to say, hey, look at this great guy. Look at this human being who came from Alabama and played in Texas and is now in England. Oh, by the way, this is a black young male excelling at a sport where we don't see that many, particularly here in the United States. This is one sellable cat. And if I'm his agent, I got dollar signs right now because he is worth so much on and off the field. And I hope he absolutely crushes it next summer. And I hope he crushes it in the spring with all the marketing and PR deals that he gets and the advertising dollars that get pushed his way, because he deserves it. He was a big winner.
If you want to hear that full interview, you can go to the FC Dallas Radio Network podcast feed and see the latest episode of the FC Dallas Agenda, which comes out most every week on Wednesday afternoon. When we're returning on the FC Dallas pregame show, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis rejoin us to help break down tonight's lineup and tactics. This is FC Dallas Soccer presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And a spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
Welcome to the world of WinStar. At the world of WinStar.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi everyone, it's Sebastian Lletget, and you're listening to FC Dallas Soccer on the FC Dallas app.
Welcome back to the FC Dallas pregame show presented by Toyota here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. We've got about 20 minutes from kickoff at PayPal Park, so let's go ahead and get you the starting lineups for tonight's match, and they are brought to you this evening by Advocare. We'll start first with the home side, San Jose Earthquakes, and first-year coach Bruce Arena. Daniel is in net for the Quakes. He's joined by Bruno Wilson, Rodriguez, and Reed Roberts on the back line. Vitor Costa and Christian Espinoza are playing the wingback roles. They're joined by Ian Harks, Bo Leroux, and Nico Chiqueras in the midfield. Joseph Martinez and Chicho Arango are up top for San Jose. Now let's hear the starting lineup for FC Dallas and first-year head coach Eric Quill.
Maarten Paas, goalkeeper, University of Amsterdam.
Sebastian Ibiaga, center back, Duke University.
Lalas Abubakar, central defender, University of Dayton.
Marco Farfan, left back, from Portland, Oregon.
Shaq Moore, right back, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Ramiro Benetti, midfielder, Brazil.
Patrickson, mediocampista, Ecuador.
Kaique, midfield, Brazil.
Joshua Torquato, left back, from Brazil and America.
Bernard Camungo, I'm a winger, and I'm from Abilene, Texas.
Petar Musa, forward, from Zagreb, Croatia.
Subs tonight for Dallas: Osazi Uragide, Sebastian Lletget, Siki and Sabling, Alvaro, Logan Farrington, Sam Sarver, Michael Collodi, Tarek Scott, and Diego Garcia. Now let's bring in the voices of tonight's contest. It's Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. And Ryan, we talked a little bit about it in our first segment, but it looks to the world that there's going to be another formation change tonight. But again, it is a bit out of necessity because due to injuries and transfers, you have no wingers. Due to yellow card suspension and personal reasons, you have no 10. So out of that, necessity breeds invention comes out with this particular setup for FC Dallas.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily had to make the change, right? Sometimes managers in particular, you see this all across the world. They match the other team's shape matchup man for man and try and get those individual matchups, simplify things defensively. I think that might have been in the thinking of the Dallas coaching staff tonight. San Jose has been a 3-at-the-back team all season long. They have a very lethal front three with Arango, Martinez, and usually Espinosa. So maybe, clarifying those matchups, getting an extra defender in there against the best attacking team in the league makes a lot of sense. Now the personnel decisions, that's going to be what's up for debate in the long term, but some of those decisions taken out of the hands of Eric Quill, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and Steve, it was specifically talking about this back three of Abubakar, Ibiaga, and Farfan in some order. Obviously, Osaze Irrigate is coming back from injury, but he's available on the bench. You've got Alvaro, who has started in MLS and has turned in, I think, more good than bad. But those knock-on effects have led you to a 17-year-old, what we presume to be wingback starting. And I'm curious what you think about the statement that it makes, that obviously Alvaro has a little bit more experience. Osaze is obviously what we think is one of the best center backs in the league when healthy. But that they've made these specific choices, has Eric Quill. What does it say about the roster?
Well, I guess I'm not sure whether you're asking me about Alvaro or Josh Torquato.
A little bit of
starting
both.
over there. Well, I'll tell you what, for Torquato, let me say this. The homegrown initiative has sort of faded a little bit, and so I don't mind seeing this guy get this chance. As I said a while ago, I hope they give him some very simple instructions. Don't overload him with information. Let him go out there and and play a little bit. Give him a couple of specific things to do defensively, a couple of specific options to look for on the attack. But the homegrowns, as far as minutes played and matches played, has been trending downward, concerningly downward over the last few years. Dallas right now is tracking to play the fewest homegrown minutes since 2013. So that's a real trend. So I don't mind that Torquato, is coming through the system and getting his chance. I'd like to see a little bit more of Diego Garcia. So that part doesn't bother me at all.
I don't disagree. I would also like to see Dallas return to those roots. And speaking of guys that have come through the system, albeit not quite a homegrown, Ryan, Bernard Kamungo gets another start tonight. And some of this is just rotation with so much games crammed into so little time. Logan Farrington can't play him and draw 9 fouls in all of them. I'm sure we'll probably see him late here. But this is yet another opportunity. I feel like we've had this exact same situation on many a pregame show where it's an opportunity for him to take a moment where he can be the guy and shine. And he's had some decent showings, just hasn't been enough to grab that job.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go. I think his best work actually came in the Open Cup, scoring at home against Avialta. But his best game by far was a goal and an assist against a good New York Red Bulls team in the next round of the Open Cup. So overall, his production of 3 goals and 1 assist in all competitions isn't bad for somebody who's making just his 5th start of the season. His numbers actually are higher than Logan Farrington, by a goal and an assist as well. But can he bring you consistency throughout 90 minutes? He's always been more of a moments player. Can he do what Logan does in terms of drawing fouls, being positionally disciplined, doing the defensive work that's required, having the understanding with Petter Musa and linking up, with Shaq Moore on the overlap? All these things have to, he has to turn in a complete performance tonight to really put his name down in pen in the starting 11. Obviously, we hope Anderson Julio is back soon, and we hope Logan Farrington would be able to start as soon as Saturday. So he's got another opportunity. Eric Quill's given him opportunities all season long. A couple of good performances, and I need another one from him tonight.
And especially considering the transfer window is about to open and FC Dallas is active in it, as we talked about in our first segment. There are no real safe positions out there right this minute, so any impressing you can do would be important. And speaking of impressing, Steve, that midfield for FC Dallas tonight, it's the all mononym midfield. You got Ramiro, Ka'ike, Patrickson, and obviously no Leggett because of transfer of just squad congestion and match congestion. And this is one that's going to have a lot of work rate in those 3. But, man, there are each one has some unique issues that it comes into when it comes to starting all 3 of them together.
Yeah, well, I feel pretty good about Ramiro. Like I said a while ago, I think he does a really good job of keeping things organized around him. I'm going to draw a circle around Patrickson. I need to see, something from him tonight. Right now, he just hasn't had that bottom line production. No goals, 1 assist in his half season plus of work. But he's had some really good matches, and then he's had matches where he just it's a 5. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not good, but they really need him tonight. Ka'ike is going to give you what he gives you. You know, he's gonna cover ground. He's gonna tackle. You know, he's gonna make a couple of line breaking passes. You know, he's a young player that's got his pluses and minuses, but I feel okay about what he's going to give you, what Ramiro's going to give you. They're not game breakers, but they're going to give you something in the midfield. It's Patrickson that has to have an impact. If he can have a good night tonight, you know, getting balls into those wing backs in good positions so that they can supply Peter Musa and Bernie in front of them, I think Dallas has a good chance.
Yeah, and I think it's mostly crucial because he's the most attacking-minded of the three. I think, you know, if they decide to play with a number 10, with, you know, no Lucha, no Pedrinho, if he's filling in as number 10 tonight, he needs to be the one to link between the midfields and the forwards. If he's more of an attacking-minded 8, then he needs to know when to time those runs, but also stay attuned to his defensive duties.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because one of the concerns about this formation, we talked about it a little bit in our first segment, how does Peter Musa get the ball? Because he's going to be your primary attack man tonight alongside Kamungo. Obviously, there's no Lucho Pedrinho to feed him, and the concern is, will he drop a little bit more in as he is wont to do? If he does, how does that change what Dallas wants to do on offense? Because I'm guessing it doesn't change it for the better.
Yeah, it doesn't work, right? If he drops in, you're leaving Bernard up there all on his own. It doesn't really work for me. So I think I'd like to see Dallas come out of this with 5 crosses in each half. I think they're going to be cross-heavy if things are going well tonight. Shaq Moore, a couple of assists on the season. Josh has a couple of assists in MLS Next Pro as well, getting forward, as well as a goal for North Texas SC. I think they both need to be able to provide the width and get crosses in, and if we can get a Musa on the end of it, then that's a recipe for goals.
I do see him dropping in at the right times. If he because it's Bernie that's going to stretch the defense. He's going to be the vertical threat. But to you guys' point, you know, as he drops in, after he can drop into the hole, because somebody's going to have to drop into the hole here, and I want it to be him and not Bernie. Then he's going to have to either play Bernie in or get the ball to the wings. If he gets the ball to the wings, that's where I want to see him get into the box from there. Get in hard. You know, don't just go back and check over for the ball, want it back that way, because sometimes we see him do that, and he can operate in those spaces. But tonight, if he plays that ball out wide, he's got to get into the box from there.
And he's really got to, put on those Croatian muscles, because we've talked a little bit about him not maybe making those runs at times, those aggressive runs in the box. That's going to have to be him tonight if he makes that work. Well, let's talk a little bit about San Jose before we get to tonight's keys. And we've talked a lot about Bruce Arena. He does it simple. And this offense for San Jose is pretty simple. They want to take balls from the left side, swing them over to Christian Espinoza, and just let him do his thing, whether it's serving it up to guys like Arango or Martinez or even taking it himself at times. Steve, how does one shut down a 4-time All-Star like Espinoza if they even can?
No, it's not easy. You just got to make sure you're aware of him. You've got to play passing lanes to try to prevent balls from getting into him. So sort of what we talked about Bouanga the other day with LAFC. Just he's going to get on the ball, but can you limit those opportunities on the ball by playing the passing lanes, by marking up tightly? The problem is that he leads MLS in key passes, 3.7 a game. That's a pass that leads to a shot. But a lot of those are on set pieces. And so, you can't keep him. You can't prevent him from going over taking the corner kick, or you can't prevent him from going over taking the free kick. Although you can maybe not give him free kicks in dangerous places. So they have to be careful about that tonight.
Yeah, I think thinking back just 3 weeks ago, I mean the goal for Arango off the service from Espinosa coming from the corner kick. I mean, just do anything you can to avoid giving them those opportunities. I will give us one positive note. Just putting some good energy out there. Michael Colodey's dad, whose name is also Michael Colodey, is at the match tonight, and the Colodey family has a fantastic record when they travel. So keep an eye on that one. If they come away with a good result tonight, we can thank the Colodey family.
I'm getting a Freaky Friday thing here of one Colodey switching with the other, and that's scaring me a little bit too. But luckily, Martin Paz is in net for FC Dallas. But let's get to tonight's keys to the game, which never scare me because they are not just presented by Toyota, but they are also presented by Steve Davis.
Appreciate you, Sam. Number one, more fight tonight. I mean, look, the team's in a bad way. We know that. What we've mostly seen is individual errors. Sometimes you're going to have those. But the other day, if I'm honest, I just wanted to see just a little bit more fight, a little bit more desire in that match. So I hope we get a little bit more of that tonight, just a little bit more X-Dog. Number two, organize for longer stretches because, the best teams in the world are going to have these windows where they're going to get a bit stretched, where they aren't stitched together quite as tightly. But FC Dallas the other day, they looked good and tightly stitched together for about 20 minutes. That's not enough. Again, you're going to have these little windows, but can you create these bigger windows where you really look organized? It's going to be tough tonight because they're in a new formation, but staying compact and well organized for bigger windows tonight, that gives Eric Quillsman the best chance. And number 3, as we just talked about, execute on restarts. Now, both teams have struggled lately to defend free kicks and corner kicks and even throw-ins because both teams struggled against Minnesota again in that lately. So it's tough against San Jose because Christian Espinosa's set-piece delivery is just so good, but that's just it. You got to find a way to execute on dead ball situations on both sides of the ball, and those are your keys presented by Toyota.
Well, it's a rematch of the original matchup for FC Dallas, then the Dallas Burn versus the San Jose Clash, April 14th, 1996 at the Cotton Bowl. They're doing it again tonight as FC Dallas versus San Jose Earthquakes at PayPal Park. When we return here after the pregame show, it'll be Ryan and Steve getting you ready for this rematch of the first ever match for FC Dallas in Northern California. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
So, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, just took the Tacoma off-road, deep into the woods, got to this hidden campsite only it could reach.
Nice. I hooked up the boat to the Tundra and hit up the lake. Towed it like a pro. Had the whole lake to ourselves.
Hey, wait, did I mention I went rock climbing too? Uh-huh, yeah, thanks to the Tacoma's crawl control.
Well, sounds like we both had fun weekends.
Mine was better.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for all the fun. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
Hi everyone, it's Maarten Paas, and you're listening to FC Dallas Soccer on the FC Dallas app.
Well, FC Dallas closes out their West Coast road trip tonight at PayPal Park as they run it back against the San Jose Earthquakes, the very same matchup that kicked off the club's now 30-year history at the Cotton Bowl in 1996. But they, of course, met much more recently than that. Just 3 weeks ago, back in Frisco, when this Dallas losing streak began, a 4-2 final, a game that went up in flames as the Burn ended with just 9 men. And tonight, they're missing some of the stardust that the likes of Lucho Acosta and Pedrinho can provide, so Eric Quill's side will need to summon the resolve to stop the slide and get things pointed back in the right direction. I'm Ryan Figert here on the FC Dallas Radio Network, joined, as always, by Steve Davis as the team is out in Northern California. Steve, welcome onto the call.
Howdy, Ryan.
And it is an all-original matchup, as we mentioned. And I was doing a little bit of research before we got things going here.
As we do.
And I saw the byline from the Cotton Bowl that day. It was one Steve Davis. What do you remember about the first ever matchup for the Dallas Burn?
Honestly, I don't remember that much about that game other than I remember there was a lot of sort of tension about how many people were going to show up at that one. And in the end, I believe the crowd was about 27 or 28,000. I think everybody was really, really happy with a big crowd showing up at the Cotton Bowl that day. It was a pretty uneventful game, as I recall. What I remember better is Jason Kreis's first goal a couple of weeks later. First goal for the franchise.
Our good friend Mark Dodd making the crucial save to get a shootout win, the first ever dribble-up style MLS shootout. That's a lot of fun. We'll have him on the call with us next week here on the FC Dallas Radio Network as Dallas is hosting 90s Night, bringing back some legends of the club from the Burn era, celebrating, of course, with the new kit that just dropped today, the Legacy kit, celebrating a throwback, a remix of the 1998 Dallas Burn kit. Lots to celebrate there in terms of the team's history. But we bring it to the present. The team is in desperate need of a win, Steve. 4 straight losses, obviously. And, this is a unique opportunity because both of these teams, San Jose and FC Dallas, have more wins on the road than they do at home. And it's being played in San Jose. So is that advantage FC Dallas to you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, Dallas, there's only one season in Dallas history when they've actually finished on the road above 500. That was when they went to the MLS Cup final in 2010. Right now, they're still above 500 despite the loss the other day at LAFC. They're just better on the road. So, and as you said, not only is San Jose's league record at home not great, but they also went out in the U.S. Open Cup a couple of weeks ago to Austin at PayPal Park. So, I think that is one of the Dallas advantages tonight.
Yeah, 3-3-5 at home for the Earthquakes. FC Dallas 4 wins, 3 losses, and 4 draws. 1.45 points per game on the road, just 0.5 points per game at home. We'll get to that on Saturday. We'll worry about that then. Worrying about the lineup that Eric Wills put out today. Obviously, we've already talked extensively about young Josh Torquato getting the start. The front two of Petar Musa and Bernard Kamungo, two very different profiles. How can they play off each other, complement each other's game tonight?
Bernard Kamungo is going to have to be the field stretcher. He's going to have to make the vertical runs. That is his game. Petar Musa is going to drop in, but we just talked about how he's got to get the timing right. Drop in, get the attack going, and then get back out, get in front of goal, get in front of those crosses that hopefully are coming from those two wing backs.
Hopefully so, and we'll see on the other side of this break. Kickoff is coming up here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. We'll have all the action for you on the other side of this break.
Welcome to the world of WinStar. At the world of WinStar.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care. At 4 days old, she received a stent to help her heart pump blood to the rest of her body. And today, she's a happy, healthy 1-year-old. That's incredible. That's Children's Health. Incredible together.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And a spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi everyone, it's Marco Farfan, and you're listening to FC Dallas Soccer on the FC Dallas app.
Well, welcome back in. We are moments away from kickoff here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. FC Dallas out at PayPal Park, just near the San Jose Airport over in Northern California to face off with the San Jose Earthquakes tonight. And this is a matchup of two originals, a legacy game in some ways, and there's a legend in the 11 for San Jose. That is Josef Martinez. I want to highlight him alongside Chicho Arango because those two have done their best work maybe in their entire career when they've seen FC Dallas on the opposite side. 7 goals, 1 assist for Chicho Arango in 6 career games against FC Dallas. And for Josef Martinez, a similar story. 6 goals and 6 games against FC Dallas. What is it going to take for Dallas to slow down that high-powered front two, Steve?
You're right. To me, Josef Martinez has he's got the legacy, but this is Chicho Arango and Christian Espinosa's offense. It's just, again, being aware of those two, not giving up fouls in bad places, and making sure you're organized in your defending. If you're organized, you make things hard on attacking players, even the best attacking players. Leo Messi tonight couldn't get a goal against a good organized Cincinnati team. So it can be done. It's just got to take a lot of focus and concentration. Can't make mistakes like Alvaro made last time and saw Bolaru score for San Jose.
Just 3 weeks ago, these two teams meeting at Toyota Stadium. A 4-2 win for the Quakes. 2 red cards for FC Dallas. Hoping things look a little bit different out in San Jose tonight. It definitely looks different for the Earthquakes as they're decked out in their legacy kit. A very bright black and white with all different types of color accents and a reminiscent jersey, throwing back to the Clash days for them in 1996. Dallas, a little more traditional look tonight. We'll see their retro kit on Saturday. It's the afterburner kit for FC Dallas, blue and red across the chest. Petar Musa lined up at the top of the Dallas formation, just about set to get things underway. The man with the whistle tonight, Rami Touchant, 100th career game for him in Major League Soccer. Congratulations to him on the milestone in his 8th season. Dallas has drawn 6 of their 10 games with him at the helm, 2 wins and 2 draws.
Got a good look there at goalkeeper Daniel for San Jose. The team's goals against average is 2.27 when he's not in the net, and then it drops to 1.5 when he's in goal. He's one of the good ones.
We are underway. San Jose drops it back to get things started at PayPal Park tonight. Thank you for joining us here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. Another late night one as Dallas closes out the West Coast road trip. 2-0 loss at LAFC, hoping for a better result tonight in Northern California. It's Josef Martinez on the ball early, spreading it out to Christian Espinosa, closed down by Josh Torquato, who gets a piece of the cross, and it still caroms through to Martin Paz. Torquato does enough on that occasion. It's a tough task to draw the San Jose captain in his first ever MLS start.
Yeah, he'll get a lot of help over there from Marco Farfan playing that side of the back three. But a good early moment for Torquato because cross prevention is going to be important tonight.
Essentially, you could look at it as Dallas decided Espinosa's so good they needed 2 left backs in there to deal with him. And that's what they've gone with. Farfan challenging for a header there against Arango. Torquato thought it was a Dallas ball, but instead it'll be San Jose with the throw-in. Just under 70 degrees and sunny in California today. Wouldn't that be nice? Espinosa hooks one forward. Ka'ike makes the interception, pokes it into the path of Bernard Kamungo. He's able to direct it towards Patrickson, holding off Bo LaRue. Now finds Ramiro with some space, lifts it towards Petar Musa. And he leaves it for Josh Torquato, trying to keep it in play. Did he get there in time? The referee says yes. Not a bad cross there from Torquato. It's cleared away. And now San Jose will challenge this Dallas back three, going direct towards Martinez. Abubakar wins it. Farfan goes down, thought he had a foul, nothing given. Arango on it. Rolls it down the line. Espinosa now checks it all the way back for Rodriguez, the right center back of the back three tonight.
That's when Marco Farfan's really pretty good at drawing, and referee Rami Touchon just wasn't going to give it to him that time.
San Jose and Dallas both going with a back three tonight. Dallas turn over possession. Shaq Moore on it.
Yeah, both teams playing on short rest. Both teams with a significant not available roster or not available list, rather.
For San Jose, a big one. David Romney not in the 11. He'd started almost every game this season for Bruce Arena in the middle of that back three.
And he's such a Bruce Arena guy. 32 years old, and he's one of the guys that came at a trade. Bruce Arena making a big trade that brought 3 guys that he had played for him in New England. He was one of them, so that is a loss for them tonight.
Musa brings it down on the chest. Pass looking for the run of Bernard Kamungo, intercepted by Rodriguez. Tried to pick out a teammate, but Musa deflects it out for a throw.
I think that's exactly what you just saw, what Dallas wants to do tonight. Drop Petar Musa in, get Bernard Kamungo running in behind, or have Musa just feed the wings from that position.
Rodriguez direct towards Martinez. A little bit of a nudge in the back from Abubakar. He's whistled for a foul. Can't say it was much more than it was against Marco Farfan a couple minutes ago. So we look at the legendary Bruce Arena, closing in on 600 regular season games in Major League Soccer. He's the most wins, and that is just one of a few records he holds, of course. Both head coach and sporting director in San Jose now. Dallas player down on the far side, looking to break through Bernard Kamungo. Kamungo is in behind here as he makes his way past the halfway line, getting tugged all the way.
He's upset, and he's got every right to be. That was ridiculous.
He had 2 San Jose players riding on his back as he was in behind with the ball. Patrickson's the one who stayed down here, and that's 2 really questionable calls in the opening 4 minutes in favor of the home team.
I mean, that was, I understand Rami Touchon allowing the play to go on, but as soon as Bernie can't get to the ball, he's just absolutely got to call that one back.
I'll tell
wow.
you what.
Oh.
I mean, Vitor Costa could be sent off here, stamping hard on Patrickson's leg, and Patrickson still hasn't moved. I mean, you hope this isn't a long-term injury, but it certainly could be with the nature of the tackle. It wasn't intentional by any means, but if you think back to the game Dallas played at Real Salt Lake early in the season, Piol sent off for a stamp in that one. Very similar type of play here for Vitor Costa.
Yeah, I'm certain Vitor Costa wasn't intending to do that, but you're still responsible. And it's a really bad stamp right on the ankle, right where the foot meets the leg there, and right on top. Got it with the bottom of his cleat with force.
Sebastian Ibeagha in conversation with the referee. Martin Paz, the Dallas captain, with no Lucho Acosta there. He's suspended for yellow card accumulation tonight. So Ibeagha seems like he's the one appointed to speak with the referee in these situations. Very surprised with almost every decision he's made in the first 5 minutes, and especially though that they aren't going to go take a look at this one. Patrickson still down. That doesn't look good. Lletget is the one warming up. Eric Quill, another potential injury blow.
Well, we just talked in the pregame show about how important Patrickson was going to be, that he needed to be the guy creating a little bit from the midfield and arriving in the right moments into the penalty area to be the extra man inside the box. Looks like he's going to have to come out. Sebastian Lletget is getting ready to come on here.
Patrickson is now back on his feet and walking. Lletget has the jersey on here in the 6th minute. And Patrickson, good to see him running on the sideline. He may well be able to continue here.
He's running, but he's definitely favoring one side.
VAR Victor Rivas did not recommend a check for that. And depending on how the night goes, don't let that one be lost to the story of the final whistle here in the 6th minute. The game could have totally changed, and maybe it should have. We'll restart play with the drop ball to Daniel, goalkeeper for San Jose.
That's amazing that Dallas doesn't get out. It doesn't get either the foul call. Just to watch that ball dropped at San Jose's feet there is just almost humorous.
Patrickson off the field. Dallas playing with 10 right now. Patrickson warming up to try and come back in. Just a whole lot of wow in those couple minutes as they wait for the go-ahead for Patrickson to re-enter or for Lletget to come on. It's the ball in behind along the far side. Arango out to meet it. Martin Paz does well to see it over the line. That was actually Costa trying to make the run in behind the Dallas back line.
Yeah, he got inside Shaq Moore there. It's a good run. The pass just had a little bit too much weight on it. There's basically 5 men at the back, so you shouldn't have gaps like that to run through.
Paz launches the goal kick long. Now still with 10. Patrickson waiting on the far side to be waved on. All over the top from Harks, looking for the run of Nico Tsakiris, homegrown in the 11 for Bruce Arena tonight. Just his 4th start of the season. He's been dealing with some injuries as they let designated player and Hernan Lopez go just a couple of weeks ago. It's Tsakiris who's going to step into that attacking midfield role for the time being. Nice touch in midfield from Ramiro. It's at the feet of Musos, tripped up, and Dallas finally has their first free kick of the game.
Bruno Wilson on a foul there.
Still playing with 10. They need to make the decision.
Well, Patrick is having to sit out that 2 minute for the injuries.
I forgot there wasn't a card for it somehow.
And you bring up a good point. Okay, if you want to give me the argument that it wasn't enough in it for a red card, it absolutely should have been a yellow.
Ramiro's got a deep free kick here as Patrickson re-enters. It's sent towards the top of the box. Daniel out to make the punch. Daniel, flying through 2 Dallas players, has somehow drawn a foul here. And the referee was very quick with the 2 Dallas players down to blow the whistle and point the other way.
It might have been a Boubacar that was a little late in the challenge. We'll see again. Because Farfan was there and jumped straight up. This looked like just 3 players coming together, but nothing would have come of it for FC Dallas anyway.
Back to full strength now with Patrickson re-entering. We'll see if he's at full strength himself. Still moving gingerly.
Yeah, but good to see him moving at least.
Ball through the lines, deflected by Kamungo, out for a throw. The Jets still warming up in case. Giveaway from Espinosa. This game has had absolutely no shape, rhythm, or flow in these opening 10 minutes. Espinosa drops it off for Hartz. Kaike wins it back for Dallas. Musa down the line. Kamungo fouled from behind by Rodriguez. We play on. And San Jose moves it from right to left, out to the other side. Brought forward by Arango. Dropped off for Costa. 3 in the attacking area for San Jose. Whipped in towards Martinez, just over his head. Just over everybody's head, and out for a throw at the other side.
Well, I know it's Martinez bread and butter. You know, he's been doing that for years in the league, but you just got to mark up a little closer than that.
Securis advance up the right side, trying to find a way past Torquato. Torquato does enough, and it's over the line for a goal kick. Well, if you're looking for a positive of these opening 11 minutes, Torquato hasn't looked out of place.
I'd say another one is Kaike. He's already put in a couple of good tackles in midfield. He's covered a lot of ground in there.
Pass sends the team up long for the goal kick, targeting Musa. Another foul whistled against Dallas. Didn't see it. What happened on that occasion? As they go quickly and out to the other side. Arango out to Costa. Costa with Shaq Moore defending. Back for Reed Roberts in the 11 today for Dave Romney. And the switching ball all the way across now to the opposite side. Roberts again. 5th overall pick out of San Francisco, keeping him in the Bay Area. Similar story for Bo LaRue, who came through the draft as well from San Jose State. Bruce Arena still with the ability to pick those guys out of the college game. There's one down the line. Marco Farfan defending here. Pass looking for the run of Espinosa, just off the mark there from Harks. Here's Kaike bursting through the midfield. Into the feet of Petter Musa centrally, off the outside of the right foot, looking for the run of Patrickson on the far side. The Ecuadorian now faces up with Reed Roberts. Dropped off for Ramiro. Wide again for Shaq Moore. First crossing opportunity for him. He whips it in towards Musa. And Musa was being tugged there as he was going towards the ball, and the whistle is gone for a foul against Petter Musa. I don't think we've had a game this season where I've seen every single incident differently than the referee has, but Petter Musa's shoe ended up off his foot. And that was a decent ball in from Shaq Moore as well.
Both players have got each other's jerseys there, so it can't go either way, and you're usually going to get that call for the defender's usually going to get that call. If it's called at all.
That would be more my angle. It's
Yeah.
not usually called.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's a ball in behind looking for Espinosa, just off the mark. And it's out for a Dallas throw deep in their own territory. I'll tell you, as funky and retro as these kits are, they're not the easiest to spot the numbers. Everybody looks a little different.
Hey, welcome to MLS circa 1996.
We'll see how the Dallas Burn Legacy kit looks on Saturday.
I think it looks pretty sharp.
I meant more in terms of from the booth. It does look sharp though, as we get some rare kit talk from Steve Davis. Boubacar, nice first touch, drops it back to Martin Paz, who will go long.
Well, that's how good this one is.
If we can even convince Steve Davis, we've done well. Kaike out to Patrickson, some space here in midfield, and runners ahead of him. Hitting the switching ball, looking for Petter Musa at the back post. Brings it down to the chest, edge of the 18-yard box, looking for a lane to shoot. Musa drops it off for Ramiro. Pass off the mark, and Shakira is able to get his body in the way. Offside flag was up anyway. Well, the best way to experience FC Dallas soccer is with a season ticket membership, which has a host of benefits that make this the best option in sports, including complimentary MLS Season Pass subscription, discounts on concessions at Toyota Stadium, and much more. Find the membership that's perfect for you at fcdallas.com/memberships. Daniel long and direct, straight to the foot of Christian Espinosa. Now 1v1 here with Josh Torquato in the wide areas on the near side. Low cross is gobbled up by Martin Paz.
No official shots for either team, but that's a good moment for Martin Paz. The only other thing he's really had to do is field a ball, that deflected cross that was squirming off towards the near post, but that's his first real call to action 16 minutes in.
Launches the punt long. Header one. Easily there by Wilson. Sent back the other way. Now Kamungo making a dart in behind. Musa was tripped up. There's just no flow in the game, and the way the referee is handling things isn't helping. As the offside flag went up after Musa got the ball in behind for the run of Kamungo, Rodriguez has stayed down.
I think FC Dallas players were arguing that Musa was fouled as he made that pass.
Rodriguez now helped to his feet by Daniel.
Rodriguez is the most experienced defender they have. 27-year-old Brazilian making his 90th league appearance tonight.
Second time Pedro Musa's had to redo his shoelaces in the opening 16 minutes. I think he does moose antlers instead of bunny loops.
It's a good question.
I don't know how they teach them in Croatia. 16th minute, Daniel going to launch this one long to resume play. And opts to go short instead, out to Bruno Wilson. Direct ball through the middle of the field. Ka'ike lunging towards it. Eventually makes the interception. Torquato firing one towards Ka'ike. It breaks for Musa. Musa sees the run of Kamungo in behind at the left side. Bernie Kamungo trying to get wrong side of the defender. Gets the shot away towards the near post. And Daniel puts it behind for a corner.
I'll tell you what, Bernie Kamungo is making early runs tonight. And I don't know if that's something the team has worked on, but it's working because, you know, what we've seen FC Dallas do is just be indecisive at different times. But if you get the early run and players can spot it, put them in behind early, you're going to get something out of it. And what they just got out of that was the first corner kick.
No Pedrinho or Lucho, so it's going to be Patrickson to take. But he'll have to wait. The referee's going to have a word. Rodriguez, center of the conversation here. An in-swinging service for Patrickson. 1 assist on the season back in the away game at Cincinnati. Whips this one into the danger area. Daniel comes to punch off the line. Second ball, won by KK at the top of the box, but he can't find a teammate, and the counterattack is on, going the other way. Out to Harks on the far side. LaRue picks it up, defended by Kamungo. Checks back as Dallas get numbers back. Good speed there. Haven't always seen that this season. Everybody getting back defensively for Dallas. Torquato.
Going back quickly, the game's first shot on target, that was from FC Dallas and Bernie Kamungo. Bernie Kamungo did a really good job there, fighting off the much bigger Rodriguez, just staying in the fight long enough to get that shot away to create that corner kick off Daniel's save.
Torquato stuffed Sekiris and then turned it over right back to him. Now commits a foul. And this is right in the wheelhouse of Christian Espinosa from a deep position on the right wing.
And 5 fouls now called against FC Dallas, only 1 whistled against San Jose. And I did say I wanted to see a little bit more fight, and that's good.
I don't think Rami Touchon wanted to see any fight at all tonight, by the way it's been called. But it is going to be Espinosa. Sekiris runs over it, whipped in by the Argentine into the danger area, looking for Arango, headed away. Lead by Patrickson, out for a throw on the far side.
Honestly, I don't have a big problem with any of the fouls he's called against Dallas. Maybe one that we thought maybe was Torquato, but we weren't sure. But You just got to make sure you're calling them both ways, and a couple of them from San Jose could have been called and weren't.
Ball fired out by Costa. Eventually corralled on the far side. Ramiro steps into the passing lane, makes the interception. Now finds Shaq Moore wide on the right. Nobody ahead of him, so he checks back and finds Ramiro again. Ramiro can't find a teammate. As the midfield has been active, certainly, and good defensively, but the question's going to be, can they supply the ball to the forward line? That forward line, just 2 players tonight, Kamungo and Musa.
Another good tackle there from Kaike. Unfortunately, that one goes right out of bounds, so throwing San Jose.
Deep in Dallas territory on the far side. Kaike again gets a foot on the ball. It breaks back for the Quakes. Rolled across the top of the box. Rodriguez fires a shot off Kamungo. Breaks for Arango. Set back for Martinez in the box now. Harks from distance into the top corner. A broken play, but it breaks for Ian Harks at the top of the box. And he picks out the back of the net past Martin Paz.
Now the ball bounces really nicely for Harks as Dallas can't quite get the clearance. And he made no mistake from about 22 yards left side. Left Martin Paz absolutely no chance as he hit it pretty clean. It's Kaike again with a couple of chances to knock that ball away. He can only get a foot on it. First shot gets blocked and knocked around. Joseph Martinez spotting Harks in behind him. Everybody's sort of collapsing on the ball and nobody paying just a little bit of attention to Harks out there. And man, he hit a nice ball curler into the upper right corner.
First real chance of the game for the Earthquakes. It's a nice shot from the top of the box for Harks, and Dallas will play from behind. It's been the story of the season. Conceding first now in 16 out of 21 games in Major League Soccer. Joseph Martinez and Arango not the one to score, at least so far, but Martinez does pick up the assist. Second of the season for him. Here's a ball in behind. Both Dallas forwards breaking for it, but Rodriguez has the head start.
A good little ball there from Kaike. Just couldn't quite find the angle. I mean, Dallas is down 1-0 right now, but it's not Kaike's fault. I mean, he's been all over the place in a good way.
Dallas does finally get one of those ticky-tack push fouls called for them right on the halfway line. Marco Farfan draws the contact. For Harks, it's the second goal of the season for him. Ramiro is going to stand over this free kick as Dallas gets some bodies forward up from the back. San Jose sets the line a couple yards outside the 18. Ramiro lifts this one towards the edge of the box on the far side. Abubakar challenging for it, breaks for Patrickson. Now Abubakar again whips the cross in towards Ibeagha in the middle. Volleyed away by Bruno Wilson. Out to Espinosa on this near side. Espinosa lifts one over the top for the run of Arango. Martin Paz out off his line. Arango was offside. The referee plays advantage. Let's go the other way. Fourth minute, San Jose in front, 1-0 at PayPal Park. Torquato takes the throw towards Kamungo. It's out of play. Last touch was off the goal scorer, Ian Harks, for another Dallas throw.
Farfan taking this, throwing right in front of Bruce Arena. 73 years old now, and thought he would have been done, but he wanted to keep going, and done a pretty good job getting San Jose finally pointed in the right direction after a bunch of years off in the wilderness.
Farfan drops this one off for Ramiro. Dallas building here on the near side. Fired and defeated Patrickson. Set back well for Farfan. Now Kaike out to Josh Torquato. Advanced on the left side. Infield for Patrickson. Back to Torquato. His first career MLS start. Still on a short-term loan from North Texas SC. Patrickson into the feet of Kamungo. Back to Patrickson, edge of the 18. Thought he had the run from Torquato. Gave possession away to Espinosa. Dallas quickly win it back with Ka'ike. Ball forward for Patrickson. Again, tried to flick out wide left. Couldn't keep possession. Ball bouncing in midfield, controlled by the Quakes. Torquato biting in from behind against Shakiris. Not enough to win possession. Rodriguez fouled by Musa. Saw a window in the press, but couldn't quite get his body in front.
I'm trying to figure out Patrickson's role. Sometimes it looks like Dallas is in a 3-4-3 and Patrickson out wide right, but then sometimes he's moving all around the field. Looking more like a 3-5-2. Just it's really a little difficult to figure it out.
There's a ball in behind for Costa along the left side. A lot of time for him to get the cross in, and Boubacar does well to block it at the near post.
And that's the problem when you're sort of moving around defensively. Gaps open up, and boy, something opened up there.
Clearing header goes all the way behind for a goal kick for Martin Pos to take. FC Dallas is back home on July 19th. That's this Saturday for 90s night, where we'll celebrate all things 90s. And some of your favorite Dallas Burn icons will return to Toyota Stadium for Dallas match against St. Louis City SC. Only a handful of tickets remain. Come check out the Throwback Night, Alumni Night. Jason Kreis in the house. Arco Rodriguez will be here. Mark Dodd will be in the booth. Head to fcdallas.tickets.com to secure your spot.
I had hair in the 90s. I don't know how I'm going to replicate that Saturday, but we'll see what I do.
We got an extra Juan Toja wig lying around anywhere?
It's not the worst idea.
Only the real ones know. Dallas build up on the left side. Farfan trying to return it to Patrickson. It's blocked out for a throw. Rodriguez chasing all the way into midfield here. Trying to jam up this left side. Dallas, a couple of natural left backs in there, and Torquato and Farfan. Torquato winning a foul now from Rodriguez. Almost hear Bruce Arena's Jersey accent there through the crowd. Might keep the ball as his admonition to his team. Dallas in possession here, edge of the San Jose box. It's Shaq Moore, chops onto his right foot, gets the shot away, blocked, and out for a throw by Bruno Wilson.
Shaq Moore hasn't really found a way to make a big imprint on the game offensively tonight. Almost half an hour gone. In a little different position as a wing back.
Arango does some good work in midfield now. It's out to Shakiris on the left wing. San Jose homegrown brings it forward off the left foot towards Martinez. Ibiaga got a touch, now top of the box again. It's Arango this time, but no way past Ka'ike. Continues an excellent opening half hour of this game. Now puts the ball in behind for the run of Kamungo. Daniel thought about coming out to meet it, but he'll stay back on his line as Roberts gets there first.
I would have favored Bernie Kamungo to win that race, but I think Roberts just saw the pass and where it was going just a little bit earlier.
San Jose playing with the 1-goal lead. Courtesy of shot from the top of the box, Ian Harkes. LaRue and Harkes forming such a solid partnership in midfield for San Jose. Neither of them involved with the team last year. As Bruce Arenas really completely remodeled this thing on the fly. Martinez, another new addition, drops it off to Arango. Their new DP acquired in the offseason from RSL, lifting it over the top, but it's too far for Martin Pos to come and claim. One-two along the left side. Good work from Patrickson and Torquato. Patrickson all alone here on the Dallas left. Trying to build up here. Patrickson hits the switch. A lot of space on the far side for Shaq Moore if he can get there first. He beats Costa to the ball, and he's won a free kick right on the corner of the 18-yard box.
Won a yellow card, too.
I'll tell you what, it would be worth another look to see if the contact happened on the line or not. At the very least, it'll be a dangerous attacking set-piece opportunity. Costa, who could have already been sent off, in my opinion, earlier in the game, is going to now pick up the yellow card he certainly deserved earlier.
He's trying to show the referee where he's got a gash. And I don't know how many more players need to summon the medical, because players on both sides are telling him that he needs Vitor Costa needs some attention.
I think Vitor Costa might be in trouble here.
Well, he's got Touchon has a yellow card in his hand.
No, from an injury standpoint.
Oh, yes.
He looks almost resigned to an injury here. He's got his sock pulled all the way down. And of course, we haven't seen a replay yet to let you know any further details. The yellow card looks like it will go to the San Jose man once he does get back to his feet, if he gets back to his feet here. As we play in the 30th minute.
Well, adding a little bit of insult to injury here, to actual injury, he's going to have to, unless they just bring out a sub, he's going to have to sit out 2 minutes as well. So he's going to get the yellow card.
Well,
and he's getting treated on the field, excuse me.
Dave Romney up and getting his cleats on, jersey on. So I think a similar situation to what Dallas had earlier in the game. We still haven't seen Costa get back to his feet.
And we haven't seen a replay yet of it.
Bruce Arena's seen a replay.
He said he can't be a foul if our guy's hurt, but actually, yes, it can be.
We've got the stretcher crew out there as we do now see the replay. There's a whole lot of contact there both ways. I think you see sort of the left leg of Costa buckle under the weight of Shaq Moore landing on him because Costa was late to the tackle. Either way, we do wish him the best. It was a little bit of a nasty one. Referee sticking to the decision that it will be Costa cautioned on his way off the field here. Assisted by the stretcher crew.
Well, the reason he's getting cautioned is that Shaq Moore beat him to the ball, would be able to get forward, had pushed the ball ahead of him, and then he sort of got bundled into by Vitor Costa.
So the 30-year-old Brazilian will play no further part tonight. Wish him all the best in his recovery, but if it is Romney coming on, this is a center back for a left wing back. See how that shakes out. One final look at the challenge.
Still hard to see where it was that he would have gotten cut in there, because it just sort of both players collapsed in a tangle of feet.
Substitution is confirmed, as Romney will not get the night off that he had maybe earned tonight. Started 21 out of 22 before this evening. He'll play at least the best part of an hour here as Dallas has the free kick now. Corner of the 18 on the far side. Patrickson, right arm raised, whips it in to the danger area. Ibeagha on target. What a save. What a reaction from Daniel to deny the Dallas center back the equalizing goal.
I want to see that one again because that looked like a terrific save.
Great service from Patrickson as well. Dropped it right in for Ibeagha to get it on target. Ka'ike along the left side wins the throw. Ibeagha perplexed how he didn't score. Torquato takes the throw into midfield for Ramiro. Dropped off for Farfan.
Ibeagha from Patrickson about a month ago as he scored a big goal late against Cincinnati.
Here's Patrickson through the lines looking for Musa. The slip through ball breaks back for him via Ramiro. Now wide for Shaq Moore. Patrickson again down the right side. Back to Ramiro. Cutback ball looking for Shaq Moore. Kamungo's onto it here inside the 18. 8 on the dribble. No way past Harks. Now Kaike off the left foot from distance is off target. Dallas, these overloads in the wide areas, and they're playing through them decently well here. Get a look at that save from Daniel.
I don't even know if that was Ibeagha. That might have been a save off one of his own players. I think it was Rodriguez that had to stick his leg out there under pressure from Ibeagha. Either way, it was a good save. Daniel was probably the best goalkeeper in the league in 23. And then coming off an injury, there was a significant drop, a big drop in his performance last year. But I think this year he's been back to that 23 form.
Yeah, the numbers absolutely bear out that case, Steve. He's back positive in terms of all the underlying goalkeeping metrics after a bit of a stinker last year.
A bit.
And as you mentioned in the open of this game, anything has been better than what they've had in terms of backup goalkeeping this year. Bubakar wins the header, breaks for Harks in the midfield. Now wide, with, I believe, Roberts, who's now playing as the left wing back. Taking place of the injured Vitor Costa. Now Harks gets turned, switching ball to Rodriguez on the other side. Rodriguez ball towards Joseph Martinez at the back post, but he got too much air underneath it. Martin Pos comes out to make the catch. Well, don't miss FC Dallas Rewind on KDFI More 27 every Tuesday night during the regular season at 7 p.m. You can watch FC Dallas Soccer for free on KDFI More 27. It's free over-the-air channels available everywhere in the DFW market. Haas goes long towards Musa, gets the first touch, finds Shaq Moore. Shaq Moore on the dribble now outside the end, runs into too many San Jose players. Dallas keep possession here with Ramiro on the far side. Ramiro down the line again for Moore. Fistful of jersey there for Dave Romney. Not enough for a foul.
I feel like Shaq Moore's been a little bit more influential on the attack in the last 10 minutes or so.
Martin Pos way out off his line, fires it right towards Joseph Martinez, who wasn't expecting it, and Kaike quickly tackles it away from him. Farfan down the line for Torquato. Torquato looking for a drop of the shoulder. Actually checks back for Marco Farfan. Kaike looking to get turned in midfield again, riding him all the way as Harks. Ramiro takes the free kick quickly. Patrickson trying to put it in behind for Shaq Moore, lost his footing as he made the pass. Now Roberts will bring it up the far side for San Jose. Patrickson defending him right on the halfway line. Back heel gets him out of pressure to find Arango. Harks over to Bo LaRue, now wide right with Espinosa. Securis looking for the through ball to find Martinez. Kaike breaks it up. Torquato sliding tackle. Eventually breaks for Peter Musa. Now lifted ahead by Patrickson. Kamungo will make the run here. Up against Bruno Wilson. Gets there first, and his header finds Dave Romney. Shaq Moore in the midfield for Kaike. Hesitation. Fires the ball into the feet of Kamungo, set back for Ramiro. Has the ball over the top for Musa. Saw the vision, but San Jose, a little bit of an old-fashioned offside trap there. Stepped the line up in time.
Musa about 5 yards offside.
So we look at Kaike covering the most distance in midfield for Dallas tonight. No surprise there. 2.3 miles already through 39 minutes, according to Apple TV metrics. Rodriguez on it for San Jose. Brings it into the attacking half on this near side. Hits a switching ball along the ground. Space in midfield for Harks. Out wide left. Chicho Arango's popped up. Arango looking for the feet of Martinez. Can't pick out a teammate. Goes through all the way for Martin Pos. Kaike trapped into a corner here with 2 San Jose players. He wins a foul.
I mean, if he can sustain this amount of energy, Dallas is, you know, you'd like Dallas to be able to stay in this game and keep it a game for a while.
I think, without a doubt, it's been his best half in an FC Dallas uniform. So we've still got 5 minutes to go until the break.
Well, not only the running and the tackling, but he's generally managed to get the ball off his feet, get the attack moving pretty quickly.
Pass launches it long. Musa fighting for it. Rodriguez wins the header. Espinosa down the line. Farfan puts it out for a throw. Oh, when Eric Quill picked this midfield, Patrickson, Ramiro, and Kaike, you expected there to be legs and industry in there. Good defensive work rate. I think we've gotten all of those things.
Well, the thing is, it's not really even a Patrickson midfield. Patrickson's sort of playing as a right-sided attacker. They're sort of defending out of 5-2-3, which means there's a lot of ground for a guy like Kaike to cover, and he's doing it.
Question then is who has the attacking ideas? Eric Quill obviously casting Patrickson in that role. And he has probably the best attacking moment of any of the Dallas players so far, getting that cross in for Daniel to make a fantastic save.
You know, honestly, San Jose hasn't done that much. He got 2 shots and just the 1 on goal, and that was a ball that, you know, maybe Dallas could have done a little bit better of not collapsing so many players around the ball, but it just fell so nicely to the Hearts, and it was a good shot, but that's really all they've had.
Sounds like what we saw a couple days ago in the first half against LAFC. Here's Musa putting one in behind for Kamungo to chase, but it skews wide out towards Romney, who retrieves it.
It's the second time as Bernard Kamungo has been played in, a defender beats him. I'd still like to see him continue the pursuit and make things really hard on the defender. You know, go ahead and put a body on him and make him work a little bit more. Just because you can't get to the ball cleanly doesn't mean you can't still maybe make something happen.
There's a 1-2 on the far side. Roberts gets in behind Shaq Moore. Roberts gets his head up, low cross across the top of the box. It's Martinez. Great sliding block from Ibeagha. Surely saved a goal there. As Martinez looking to continue his outstanding career record against FC Dallas.
I mean, Martinez just so smart in his positioning there, and he just pulls away a little bit from Ibeagha, but as the ball lands at Martinez's feet, Ibeagha is able to regain his own footing and just stick that big left boot out there. Because Martinez was shooting at about, he had a good-looking goal from about 12 yards there.
Musa turns it over in the Dallas half. Arango on it with Musa defending. Eventually, Petr Musa commits the foul. Those two, both All-Stars last season, left off the roster this year. Arango, 10 goals and 4 assists on the season. Musa 7 goals with 4 helpers as well. I think it felt like an innocuous free kick to give away until Espinosa comes across from the other side, and now he's going to whip one right on top of Martin Paz. A wide area on the opposite side. Dallas sets their line right on top of the 18-yard box. Espinosa leaves it for Sekiris off the left foot. Header won by Ibeagha. Retrieved by LaRue. Sends a bending ball towards the top of the box. Header won by Patrickson. Second ball picked up by Kamungo. Chance maybe to counterattack for Dallas. Kamungo along the right side. Looking from outside to in. Fouled from behind there by Espinosa. And that's one that the Quakes won't mind. Just bringing that attack to a halt.
Yeah, it's clever from Espinosa. It's not much in the foul. Nothing for the referee to get upset about. It stops the counterattack. He does it on his side of the field, on the attacking, San Jose's attacking side of the field. Clever.
I think Dallas might have a corner kick. I couldn't tell you because we couldn't see it. We're taking a quick look at both sets of substitutes that weren't exactly warming up vigorously, but somewhere in there Dallas won a corner kick. And now a big opportunity for Patrickson. 2 arms raised this time. Goes short. Ramiro corner of the 18, sets it back for Patrickson, changing the angle, whips this one in right on top of Daniel. Header one there by Ibeagha, just over the bar.
Yeah, well executed short corner kick, because it was just one touch from Ramiro right back to Patrickson coming in. Changes the angle, as you said, on the cross. Gets a good cross in. Ibeagha up first. Just his header from about 6 yards was just about a foot high.
We weren't sure if he got a touch of the previous one. Definitely got his head on that one, but the argument is there to be made that Dallas has had the better chances in this first half. It's been a pretty low chance game as we go into 8 minutes added here in the first half. Ramiro intercepts in midfield, right into the feet of Musa, can't connect with Kamungo. Abubakar stepping out of the back line to make an interception and finds Ramiro. Heads to Kamungo. Kamungo dispossessed from behind by Harks.
Bernie just ran that ball right into traffic.
And Arango did the same at the other end. Now Kamungo on it once again, trying to find Musa. His pass intercepted. It's been a pretty tough 5 or 10 minute stretch here from Bernard Kamungo. After a lively start, you'd say, he got the lone Dallas shot on target. Torquato's whistled for a foul against Espinosa right on the halfway.
Well, he's gotten away from what he was doing a while ago, which is playing out the striker, making the early runs. You know, he's just not as good when he drops in and sort of tries to orchestrate and move the ball through midfield. He needs to be further up the field, making the run, stretching the defense.
Espinosa on it here, wide right. Cut back ball for LaRue. Back again to Espinosa. Nice read there from Marco Farfan to intercept. Finds Kamungo. Kamungo again turns it over.
I mean, right now they've just got to sort that out. He's got to be up the field. It's got to be Musa that's dropping in and not the other way around, which is how it was set up just now.
Abubakar again able to intercept. Now on the dribble looking for options. Finds Musa, who has dropped in along the right side. Back to Abubakar, back to Musa. Now puts the ball in behind for the run of Patrickson, who I think has stayed onside here. Patrickson in all alone against Daniel, chips it past him and rattles the crossbar. The rebound breaks for Petr Musa inside the box, off the right foot, and Petr Musa scores in a broken play. This time it's Dallas who strike back.
Oh, it's a good pickup off the crossbar, turn and shot from Petr Musa. We'll see about the offside, but I think Bernie Kamungo might have been offside, but Patrickson made the late run. So I think it's going to be okay. Bernie Kamungo sort of read the play and understood what was going on and peeled off.
Oh yeah, he's onside.
Yes, he's onside on that one. We just got a good look at it. He does a really good job of getting in on goal, beating Daniel, but the ball pings up the crossbar. Musa picks it up. He's still got a lot of work to do as he's facing away from goal and a couple of yards outside the penalty mark. Turns and fires in with his right foot. It was also Musa that plays a really nice through ball in for Delgado.
Second time that Patrickson's hit the crossbar in the past 3 games, but this time Musa able to pick up the scraps, fire into the bottom corner, and Dallas equalizing here in stoppage time. Feels like a deserved scoreline as we approach the interval.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, Dallas out shooting the home team 7-3.
Whistle goes. Ramiro committing the foul. Now you got to make sure you get to halftime not trailing. So we played 3.5 of 8 added on. Both teams with some lengthy injury stoppages here in the first 45. Would have been such a pretty goal with Patrickson with the chip shot.
I mean, as Musa gets the ball, he's facing away from goal, and he's got Bruno Wilson all over him. He does a really good job of spinning and creating a little space for himself. Dangerous free kick here for San Jose.
This time it will be Espinosa off the right foot towards the back post. Header one by Farfan. Ramiro sliding tackle, fighting for the second ball. Breaks for Romney, keeps it alive on the far side. Arango holding off Shaq Moore. Referee playing advantage. Dallas will take that advantage as Arango is forced back towards halfway. Zakiris along the right side, off his left foot, direct, looking for Roberts, who'd stayed forward. Second ball picked up by Ka'ike, trying to lift it out towards Torquato, giving away. Zakiris on it again. Off his left foot, bending ball in, headed away by Ibeagha. Ball header won by Harks, then Ramiro. Eventually Musa just swings a left foot through it. High into the sky. Torquato fighting to deal with it. Maybe he's struggling with the lights there. It breaks for Musa. Musa spots the run of Kamungo. Went along the ground. Needed to lift it in behind.
But that's good. That's how it needs to work. Musa dropping in. Bernie making those early runs. Musa just couldn't quite find the angle.
Far side, Shaq Moore defending and winning a foul after Arango dropped the shoulder. Kaike and Arango, a little handshake, a little tap on the head, and those two had a flashpoint in Frisco 3 weeks ago, resulting in Kaike being sent off.
The fouls now starting to even up. 9 whistle against Dallas, 8 now against San Jose.
It is just nice sometimes when you've got a guy that can just make a play like that all on his own. Petr Musa certainly has been that over his season and a half with FC Dallas. Offside flag goes up. This time against San Jose. A couple minutes of stoppage time remaining. 1-1 your score at PayPal Park. Goals from Harks and Petr Musa. Ramiro unable to keep possession, but Dallas quickly wins it back. Ramiro clattered into from behind by Arango. He's holding the back of his head here. Ramiro. We haven't seen a replay of it yet, but of course that was the script for Chicho Arango to get Kaike sent off 3 weeks ago, was just go down holding your head.
Yeah, it was very little contact. We had a pretty good look at that one at Toyota Stadium.
Patrickson with a free kick 10 yards into the San Jose half. Dallas plenty of targets forward here in the final minute of the first half. Patrickson lifts it towards the top of the box. Abubakar challenging for it. Second ball fighting for it's Kaike. It breaks for Abubakar. Keeps possession on the far side. Back to Ramiro. Ramiro still with targets to aim at in space to bend this cross in towards Bernie Kamungo at the back post. It's over the head of the principal targets, and Kamungo wins a free kick from Espinosa. And that time, Bernie was just enough speed to get in front and win the foul. And Espinosa,
I think he just picked up a yellow card for himself. He sure did. Slamming the ball down,
yeah.
Yep. You know, look, you do feel a little. I can understand San Jose's frustration because Touchon called the game differently over the first 20 minutes. He wasn't calling any of those fouls against San Jose. Now he's calling those fouls against San Jose, which is fine from an FC Dallas perspective. But you know, players need that consistency, and that's why they're frustrated right now.
Dallas, bucking the trend of the season, has had good set-piece service tonight, and that's been Patrickson. He's got another one to line up here from the near side. Two-man wall for San Jose. Patrickson whips it in right on top of Daniel again. Ibiaga challenging for it, and he made contact with the goalkeeper. The foul goes against Dallas. Ibiaga obviously...
Did he make contact?
Going to protest here and said...
We'll see.
Not much.
If he did, it wasn't much. I mean, he's going for the ball. Daniel gets the ball cleanly, but Ibiaga's got a right to go for that ball too.
There has been one consistent thing. It's that the referees had a very quick whistle to defend the goalkeeper. And all orange tonight for San Jose. It's 1-1 going into the halftime break as Dallas respond to that early goal from Ian Harks. Petr Musa on the score sheet. Will we have a winner, or will it go down as a draw? It often has between these two teams in recent seasons. We'll talk about all that and more on the halftime show. It is 1-1 at PayPal Park, and we'll have the analysis for you on the other side of this break. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, The future of medicine sparks here.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino at the world of WinStar.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care. At 4 days old, she received a stent to help her heart pump blood to the rest of her body. And today, she's a happy, healthy 1-year-old. That's incredible. That's Children's Health. Incredible together.
So, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, just took the Tacoma off-road, deep into the woods, got to this hidden campsite only it could reach.
Nice. I hooked up the boat to the Tundra and hit up the lake. Towed it like a pro. Had the whole lake to ourselves.
Hey, wait, did I mention I went rock climbing too? Uh-huh, yeah, thanks to the Tacoma's crawl control.
Well, sounds like we both had fun weekends.
Mine was better.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for all the fun. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
Hi everyone, it's Paxton Palmacall, and you're listening to FC Dallas Soccer on the FC Dallas app.
After 45 plus at PayPal Park, it's FC Dallas 1 and San Jose Earthquakes 1 in a rematch of the first ever MLS match for FC Dallas. Hello everybody, it's the FC Dallas Halftime Show brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. Also brought to you this evening by Advocare, building champions together. I'm your host, Sam Hale. I'll be joined in just a few moments by the voices of tonight's contest. That's Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. But let's start first with the halftime highlights. It didn't start well for Dallas in the 21st minute. Ian Harkes launches a scorcher from about 20 yards out after a bunch of balls just kind of bounce around like pinballs in the 18-yard box. It falls to Harkes. He puts it in 1-0 San Jose Earthquakes. But 3 minutes into first half stoppage time, it was Petar Musa doing it all, including scoring the goal.
Abubakar back to Musa. Now puts the ball in behind for the run of Patrickson, who I think has stayed onside here. Patrickson in all alone against Daniel, chips it past him and rattles the crossbar. The rebound breaks for Petar Musa inside the box, off the right foot, and Petar Musa scores in a broken play. This time it's Dallas who strike back.
Musa's 8th goal of the season made it 1-1 FCD San Jose, and that is the score at the break. Let's get you tonight's halftime stats, which are brought to you by UMB Bank. The Quakes lead the possession battle 56-44. 7 shots for Dallas, just 3 for San Jose. 3 of those shots on goal for the Toros, 1 for the Quakes. 2 corners for Dallas, none so far for San Jose. You've had 2 saves for Daniel, no official saves for Martin Paz. 11 fouls for San Jose, 10 for Dallas, 2 yellow cards for the Quakes. That goes to Vitor Costa in the 33rd minute officially, right before he was stretchered off. And then right at the end of first half stoppage time to Crispin Espinosa. As they're bringing the voices of tonight's contest, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. Ryan, I think you said it best. This is a deserved scoreline for FC Dallas at the end of the first half. It hasn't been whiz-bangs and fireworks, but it has been a very solid first half of action for FCD.
Yeah, in a game that's very disjointed. I think the referees had a little bit to do with that, but also, the styles of play just clashing. Dallas playing in a new shape, don't have a whole lot of flow offensively, but I like what I've seen from this midfield in terms of their industry, their legs. They're reading the game well. Ka'ike has been a huge standout. I mean, this guy just put in an incredible first 45 minutes. If he can keep this type of form up, as Steve mentioned, in the first half, he'll be a huge asset for Dallas and trying to get 3 points on the road tonight. A lot to like, still more obviously to grow in terms of the attacking set pieces have been a big part of that. They've done well in those moments, but the flow of the game, they could do better with the ball, but against the ball and showing the fight and all the things that we hope to see from them tonight, it's a good 45 minutes.
Tell you what, Sam, I can't remember the word you just used. Whiz-bang?
Whiz-bangs and fireworks, babies.
It doesn't always have to be art,
Those
right?
are for after the game. The fireworks are for after the game. Let's get the 3 points.
It doesn't always have to be art because I think there's a pretty simple plan tonight. We talked about it. They got away from it a little bit, but as they got back, they got the goal from it. It's Bernie Kamungo to stretch the defense. Petar Musa drops in, plays balls through. We know he's a pretty good passer, and it's working. Dallas has been the better team tonight, so I like when you have a new formation, when you have new players out there, Josh Torquato making his first MLS start, make it a simple plan. I think they've done a good job of that tonight. And look, you talk about Ka'ike. Let me give you some numbers here because talk about filling up the score sheet. 33 touches, 5 passes into the final third. Those are good numbers. Nothing to do a podcast about, right? But good numbers. But check this out. 5 of 5 on his tackles, 2 interceptions, 9 recoveries, 8 of 9 on his ground duels. Hasn't committed a foul, been fouled twice. That is getting it done. Probably covered about 3 miles out there based on what we saw in the stats about the 38th minute. And so just absolutely the best I've seen him play, and we know he's a good player. That's why they spent some money, because he's got that kind of game in him.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk more about Ka'ike, especially if he has a good second half, because you're seeing the flashes of what he can be. I do want to talk about Petar Musa, who is responsible for the goal, and rare is the time where you think the guy that can score it could probably also be given the assist at the same time, Steve. But this is kind of what we've come to expect from 2025 Petar Musa. It's not just about scoring goals; it's about creation, and he did both almost simultaneously on the tying goal.
Yeah, he really did. 21 touches, not a 5 on his passes, 6 passes into the final third. And usually he would be the one receiving balls into the final third, but again, his job tonight is to drop in, and he did that. He did that excessively well on that one sequence right at the end, or right. I guess officially it'll go down in the 45th minute as he plays the ball through. I think he's actually looking for Bernie Kamungo. Bernie Kamungo recognizes he's offside, sort of peels away, but Patrickson did a great job in that moment of understanding that he could make the run that sort of duplicate Bernie's run, and he was coming from an onside position, gets in behind. Unfortunately, he puts his ball off the crossbar, but now Musa is doing what we said. Once you play the ball through, you got to get up in the penalty area. So he's following up, gets the ball, still has a lot of work to do. He's got Bruno Wilson all over him, but he's able to spin, create some space for himself, and right-footed at about 16 yards.
And the Patrickson situation, Ryan, his performance in the first half, I think is amplified by the fact that, 6 minutes in, we weren't even sure if he was going to continue. He gets cleared into by Vitor Costa, who ironically ends up coming off himself about 30 minutes later. But to see, we talked about Patrickson a lot in the pregame show about him needing to have a good game. I think so far so good through 45 plus.
Yeah, I don't think he was exceptionally dominant.
This wasn't the Philadelphia
attacking
game,
play, right? But he had obviously the huge moment leading to the goal, and his set piece service has much improved. I mean, not necessarily from his performance. He hasn't really gotten a lot of opportunities this season on dead balls. But with no Pedrinho, with no Lucho Acosta in there, it's fallen to him. And I think these have been the best set piece services we've seen all season long. He had one that nearly forced an own goal, took a terrific reaction save from Daniel to keep that one out. So his corner kicks have been good, and clearly they've got something drawn up in terms of targeting Ibiaga, who's been flashing in front of Daniel. They've had a couple of near misses on those. Don't be surprised if Dallas gets their second goal of the season from a set piece in the second half.
And Steve, we talked a little bit about this in the pregame show as well. Josh Torquato, the 17-year-old from the academy, getting his first start tonight. Your edict to him: keep it simple. They were hoping to give him simple instructions, play simply, and don't overcomplicate it. Through almost 50-plus minutes of his first MLS start, I think he's fitting that bill decently well.
No, he's doing fine. I think he had a really good early moment where he's up against Christian Espinosa, one of the best wingers over the last half decade in Major League Soccer. And one of the things Dallas hasn't done really well this year is cross prevention. And what does Torquato do right off the bat? Espinosa tries to hit across from the right side. Torquato is in a good spot, sticks his leg out, blocks that cross. It sort of just rolls into goalkeeper Martin Paz, and I think that kind of moment, I'm sure they're telling him, stay close to Espinosa, play this side. They're talking to him about how Espinosa, where he wants to go, and once you do that one time, it gives you confidence, and I think he had a very respectable first half.
Yeah, I think good credit goes to also Ramiro, Ka'ike, and Marco Farfan for helping him out too, giving that cover, because statistically, 1 of 8 on his duels isn't great, and I think for him the biggest thing that needs to evolve with his game, obviously this is his first MLS start, you don't expect him to be the finished article tonight, is the physicality. Can he fight and win those duels? We saw with Ka'ike in his first MLS game, he lost almost every single duel. He came in, he was flying around, he was making the attempt, he was going into these duels to win the ball, but he never came away with the ball. And I think that's an adjustment to get to this level and to level up, a 17-year-old player. There's a ton of room for growth for him in that area.
Yeah, look at it. 17, you just don't have those man muscles yet. He'll grow a little bit, and also the confidence he'll gain it will help him out into those in those challenges and those duels. So it's not going to be his best game that he'll play in his career, but I think it's fine so far.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the speed of a NASCAR race out there for him, but with more time, it'll slow down with experience. We got a couple minutes here before we end the post-game show. In fact, we have 1 minute. So as we look towards the second half, Ryan, we'll start with you. The one adjustment you'd make is Dallas looks to not just get 1 point, but 3 points to keep their playoff hope alive.
Yeah, I'd like to see, what Kuminga gives you for 5-10 minutes. If he's looking gassed, as I think he was to end the half, maybe you bring Logan Farrington in. Maybe you bring Sam Sarver in to keep the pace in the front line. Bring somebody in to keep that front line fresh, because Musa supplying the forward line of whoever's making the runs in behind him has been Dallas's best avenue to scoring.
Hey, you also got Sebastian Lletget sitting there that could come in if one of those midfielders get tired. So I honestly don't think they need just a whole lot of adjustment. Just there was a 10-minute window there where Bernie Kuminga started dropping in, and he was doing the one. He was the one dropping in. Musa was up higher. They got that sorted out. I just want to make sure that they're talking about that and that doesn't happen again. It's got to be Musa dropping in, Bernie Kuminga stretching him. And by the way, we talked a minute ago. Bernie Kuminga, I think coming off the injury, he doesn't look at top speed tonight. But as long as he's got the threat, he'll move that line back a little bit.
Yeah, the term of the game might be industry tonight as we look back at the post-game show. One underrated weapon Eric Quill might have, if you're up a goal late and it's like the 80th minute, Sazi Uriguide sitting right there, and his organization.
I think we will see him at some point.
I think so. That would be a very good weapon to deploy for Eric Quill if you're trying to hold on to a lead or even chasing one. Well, it's FC Dallas 1, San Jose 1 at the break at PayPal Park. We'll take a break. When we return, it's Ryan and Steve getting you ready for the second half of action up on the Northern Valley Coast. This is FC Dallas Soccer presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
So, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, just took the Tacoma off-road, deep into the woods, got to this hidden campsite only it could reach.
Nice. I hooked up the boat to the Tundra and hit up the lake. Towed it like a pro. Had the whole lake to ourselves.
Hey, wait, did I mention I went rock climbing too? Uh-huh, yeah, thanks to the Tacoma's crawl control.
Well, sounds like we both had fun weekends.
Mine was better.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for all the fun. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
Hi everyone, it's Marco Farfan, and you're listening to FC Dallas Soccer on the FC Dallas app.
We welcome you back into the action at PayPal Park. 1-1 after 45 minutes between FC Dallas and the San Jose Earthquakes. Petr Musa canceling out the earlier effort from Ian Harkes. Teams out of the locker rooms and just about set for second half action. As we get our first look at what looks like an unchanged 11 for Eric Quill. I mentioned some of those options on the bench will surely figure into proceedings later on tonight. Dallas with a good first half showing, hoping to build on it here in the second 45.
Well, you have to say right now, Dallas has the better options to bring off the bench. The San Jose's got their three sharpshooters in there already.
And they've already had to make the one change, replacing Vitor Acosta because of injury. As we are back underway in the second 45 minutes, back to Abubakar. His ball down the line, intercepted. Dallas cough up possession early on. Roberts lifting it down the line. Jack Moore at full stretch trying to keep this one in play, but it's out for a throw. Don't spot any changes for Bruce Arena in San Jose. Might be tempted to if he felt like he needed one because of losing that first half sub window. Reed Roberts spots a long throw option. Patrickson threatening to block it from a couple yards away.
Throwing his hand up. I don't know what he's doing. He's had too good a match to do something like that.
Ramiro loses out in the duel in midfield. It breaks for Chicho Arango now on the dribble past multiple Dallas players. Shaq Moore defending from the wrong side. Sliding block from Abubakar. And it breaks for Martin Pos as I was getting flashbacks to the LAFC match a couple days ago. Shaq Moore nearly tripping up Arango.
Yeah, Shaq Moore, I thought he actually had an angle there, and then he just sort of slowed down and let Arango. I guess I understand what he's doing there. He wants to make sure he doesn't commit the foul.
Fortunately, it wasn't Denis Bouanga. It was former LAFC striker Chicho Arango this time.
Bouanga would have just thrown himself into Shaq Moore and probably gotten the call.
By the way, LAFC winning 1-0 today. Denis Bouanga from the penalty spot.
It was a good penalty kick, too.
Similar story. LAFC have roared back to life after the Club World Cup. Here's Harks, ball through the lines, looking for the run of Shakiris on the far side. Sliding tackle from Marco Farfan, breaks back for Shakiris. And it's blocked behind for a corner. Good start, opening couple minutes of the second half goes to San Jose.
Oh, Harks found a good lane there. Dallas got to tighten things up.
Shakiris will take an in-swinger from the far side by the looks of things. Former US U20 captain at the last Age Group World Cup. Whips this one in towards the back post. Arango making the run. Jumping all over Patrickson, who got a piece of it. Now in towards the back post. Chested down by Kamungo. Volleyed high but not clear by Ramiro. Shakiris leaves that one a little bit short of Espinosa. Ka'ike looking for Kamungo. Nothing made a whole lot of sense there for either side.
A couple of times, though, Bernie Kamungo there being a little more physical than we saw him in the first half, which is good. He's really got to add that to his game.
Rodriguez out to Shakiris, into the feet of Arango, edge of the box, gets it wide for Espinosa. Sort of missed his touch, and then gave the ball away. Ramiro intercepts. Ramiro sees the run of Shaq Moore on the overlap, puts it in behind. Foot race between he and Roberts. Moore has the speed advantage, but Roberts had a good 5-yard head start.
Yeah, he just had a little better angle, didn't he?
I'd like to see them test that matchup again, though. All the way back to Daniel now, over to Rodriguez, closed down by Kamungo. Rodriguez down the line, and Marco Farfan just loses his footing, and it breaks for Espinosa in behind along the far side. Dallas defending a man light here. Espinosa inside the 18, cuts it back. Now Shakiris, top of the box, goes down looking for a penalty as he put it through the legs of Abubakar. It's waved up by the referee. A sliding tackle from Josh Torquato.
It was a ground duel won by the young debuting starter.
Doubled his career total now. But that was a good moment. Fired out to Romney and down the line for Roberts. Not really a natural in this position. Reed Roberts. No DeJuan Jones, he's out with injury.
Yeah, they're already missing Amal Pellegrino.
Kikanovich has played some wing back as well. So pretty far down the depth chart on the left side right now. They've got Espinosa out there on the right, who is one of their best players, but they prefer to have him further up the field, I think. Harks dropping in, sees the run of Espinosa in behind, right on cue. Espinosa in along the right side, runners inside the 18, cutback ball towards Martinez, deflected up in the air, and then Martin Pos juggles it to himself and holds it. Holds it so tight. As Martinez was lurking and threatening to put one past Martin Pos for a third straight time that those two faced off.
Yeah, twice now, San Jose via Harks has found some space along that right side.
Yeah, some combination of Torquato and Ibeagha cutting out the cross.
Ball kind of pops up and hits Ibeagha on the arm, but I think the arm was tucked inside well enough, and I believe it might have even been a deflected ball, so it'd be, you know, what we would call a surprise ball, so I don't think anything's coming of that.
We restart play with a throw. Shaq Moore into the chest of Petter Musa inside the box here. Overlapping run from Patrickson, whips it in on the right foot, volleyed away by Romney. Petter Won by Farfan. Kaike lost his footing there on the far side, and now LaRue could bring it forward. Dallas players struggling to keep their feet here in the second half. Rodriguez over to this near side, and Romney down the line for Roberts. Arango for the 1-2 return ball, can't keep it in play. And I know it's not a totally fair experience to draw on, but I did go to PayPal Park for the game late in the season last year, and it's a really short, slick surface. At least it was at that point. And, I'm sure they watered it at halftime, as most teams do. There's a ball fired between the lines. Arango now from 20 yards, curling off the right foot, and that one maybe a yard or so wide. San Jose continues a strong start to the second half.
Yeah, he didn't need, he just carved out a little bit of space for himself as he received the ball. A little bit like Musa a while ago. It's back to the goal. He's a lot further out. He's about 26 yards on the right side, and maybe Abubakar can get a little bit closer to him there, as he's able to swivel the hips and try to curl it into the back post. Didn't miss by much.
Pass long over the head of Musa. Header won by Romney, then Ebiaga at the other end. LaRue loses out to Bernie Kamungo. Wins that scrap, finds Patrickson. Now Musa. Musa on the dribble, loses out to LaRue. Daniel, good composure there, just chips it over the head of Musa. That's a moose right there that you just chipped it over. Not a normal sized man.
Even the goalkeepers in Brazil can show those silky smooth passing skills sometimes.
There's another Brazilian, and Rodriguez bringing it into the attacking half on the far side. Wide for Espinosa. Kaike knocks it off Espinosa, now for a throw.
Nice job, Kaike.
I think Kaike must lead the entire league in handshakes with the opposition after a hard tackle.
You think he's upset from sort of the injustice of being thrown out last time against San Jose?
He's definitely brought the motivation tonight, and whatever it is, it's worked. Ramiro header to keep things going on the far side. With 4 players in a congested area along the left, eventually try to spring Torquato in behind, but put out a play by Rodriguez. Into Musa, who wins the first header. Kamungo trying to free himself up there, and it's retrieved again by Rodriguez. Now goes long towards Martinez, chested down on the halfway line. Now he checks back. Abubakar defending.
We're creeping up on the hour mark. It's still only 4 shots from San Jose. That shot a minute ago from Arango was just the 4th one.
San Jose lead all of Major League Soccer in shots per game, and XG per game.
Yeah, 3rd highest scoring team. So Dallas doing a pretty good job tonight. I know they're a little short, but they've got their 3 best attacking players.
Dallas sitting in defensively. San Jose building up on the fringes of the Dallas shape. Roberts back to Romney. Back to Wilson. Nice ball. Breaks the first line to find LaRue. Now Romney into LaRue once again. Ramiro clatters him from behind. This will be a free kick in an attacking position, a shooting range opportunity.
Yeah, that wasn't good for Ramiro. Just tackling from the wrong side, sticking his leg out instead of just keeping his feet moving and trying to regain position there. This is going to come right side at about 26 yards.
Arango had one from this distance, the other side, a couple minutes ago.
That was LaRue, and we didn't really see much of him from the first half. Sort of sprung out of nowhere to have a really good year for Bruce Arena so far.
4 goals, 4 assists for a player that didn't play a minute last season for the first team. Paz setting up a 4-man wall with Kaike laying underneath. Espinosa and Arango, 2 very good options standing over this for San Jose. Looks like it will be Chicho Arango. Goes around the wall towards Martin Paz's left, just wide of goal. It'll be a goal kick. Arango didn't miss by much.
I think maybe Martin Paz would have had it covered, but
I think I'll join you in that confidence, but it was a good attempt from Arango.
Would have been close.
Maybe there was a split-second window.
Paz got a pretty good push off to that side.
He launches it long. Header won by Rodriguez. Second ball, header won by Ka'ike. And Ramiro pulled out of a sliding tackle. He wasn't going to win, but it breaks for Abubakar. Now Shaq Moore up the right side for Dallas. Drop of the shoulder to find his way past Roberts. Sends it in off his left foot and got past the first player, but couldn't find Petar Musa.
Now Musa gives him a little thumbs up though on the early cross.
San Jose with a lot of success building up on their right side, the far side, as we look on. Through 12 minutes here in the second half. Rodriguez again to Espinosa. Into Arango, set back for Espinosa, sliding tackle won by Torquato. Kamungo puts it in behind Rodriguez and knocks it for himself to chase. Now shoulder to shoulder between the two. Kamungo skips past him. Kamungo into the 18 now. Thinks about a shot, gets it onto his left foot, deflected and behind for a corner.
Oh, Bernard Kamungo does so much good work to get past Rodriguez over there, and then he sort of hesitates. I think he should have shot a little earlier as he got in the penalty area, because he's clear. He's got Bruno Wilson in a bad spot in front of him. Bruno Wilson's not really closing him down. Then he hesitates and allowed Wilson to get a little closer to him. He does get a corner kick out of it, but I just think if he's maybe in a little bit more confident moment, he takes that shot a little earlier.
Patrickson now, chance for the corner kick, in-swinger from the far side. In towards Daniel again, this time defended at the near post by Bruno Wilson. Will do it all over again.
Is Patrickson, that second time it looks like he's maybe tried the Olympico?
I think maybe, you know, sometimes they spot these types of things on video. Daniel not as comfortable dealing with a ball right on top of him. That's what they've gone for with Ibeagha sort of challenging for it. See if he tries it again. Two arms raised, they go quickly, they go short to Ramiro. We saw this in the first half, back to Patrickson, this time back to Ramiro. Now off the left foot, lifted in towards Ibeagha, breaks for Kamungo inside the box, didn't have the reaction to shoot in time, and the offside flag goes up. May not have counted anyway.
You know, we're in the 60th minute, and at some point here, I think we're probably going to see maybe a Farrington for Bernie Kamungo change, something like that. And that's going to give Bernie Kamungo, I just don't think he's able to reach his top speed tonight. It's going to give San Jose a lot to deal with.
Yeah, you think if we had fully fit Bernie Kamungo, he wouldn't have got caught up by Rodriguez on that last play.
Exactly.
He's making a nuisance of himself here in these last couple minutes, though.
Oh, that's the point. You know, by staying up high, you can be a threat. You can occupy defenders.
Oh, here's Arango, way too much space in between the lines. Dinks it towards the back post for Martinez. Got too much air underneath it, and that's a let off for Dallas. They lost the one man, and you can't lose hold of.
Yeah, but count it, third time down that right side. Dallas just getting pulled apart a little bit.
Well, they do have one option on the bench I would like to see maybe come in and try and solve that problem. That would be in Osazi Urguide.
Yeah, you just can't bring him in too early.
You could bring Torquato off, push Farfan higher up the field, and put Osazi in there. Three center backs.
You could also do that with Alvaro.
Played an hour at PayPal Park. 1-1 your score, all the scoring in the first half. Header won by Torquato. Rodriguez straight up in the air. Musa waiting for it to fall in the center circle, holds off his man. Gets turned, finds Ramiro, out to Kamungo on the far side to Ramiro, out wide for Torquato, not enough on the pass. Apologetic wave there from Ramiro. And then the offside flag was up. Not sure play needed to be stopped as San Jose had the ball. And they just take it quickly anyway. KK, a little bit of afters there against Joseph Martinez. Referee plays advantage. Ball in behind again for Arango on the far side. Ebiaga defending. Two former teammates at LAFC. Forces him back this time to Espinosa. There's Shakiris. Romney whips it in towards the back post. Ramiro sets it down for Martin Paz, who will cover it up. Referee content that Ramiro didn't mean to pass it back to his goalkeeper there.
Well, I'm sure San Jose's made a couple of small adjustments, but for me right now, the difference is that Kaike is just, he just isn't able to maintain quite the pace that he had in the first half, and it's just giving San Jose a little bit more room in the midfield to pick out those passing lanes. That's not a knock against him. I mean, it was an epic first half that he had.
San Jose moving it across the back line now into Bo LaRue in midfield. Midfield options on the bench. Principally, you've got Sebastian Lletget, you've got Siki and Sabling available as well. Boubacar, some nice defending there, forces the mistake from LaRue, out for a throw for Dallas. Musa absolutely crunched from behind there as he laid it at the feet of Kaike. Bruno Wilson, lucky for me to escape without a yellow card here.
Especially since he also kicked the ball away. Maybe it's a little quick after the whistle. Maybe that's being a little harsh.
This free kick will come about 10 yards into the San Jose half. Patrickson will take it with the center backs forward. Shaq Moore in along the right side with just Joseph Martinez for company. It is lifted towards Shaq Moore, now set back for Patrickson. First time ball whipped in towards the near post. Breaks for Ibeagha at the back post. Huge save from Daniel on the follow-up. Kamungo with the header. Now Ibeagha knocks it down. Nobody there in Dallas red and blue. As that was just a bit of chaos ball following the set piece.
I mean, mark it down. That's two big stops for the San Jose goalkeeper. Ibeagha lurking on both of them. That's a big save there. He got out quick on Ibeagha, who found the ball at his foot right at the 6-yard mark.
For a center back, not a bad first touch on a ball that was whipped in with some serious pace.
Yeah, from Patrickson.
Those two have some kind of connection going on. Was the one goal for Ibeagha on the season assisted by Patrickson, and it's nearly come to pass multiple times tonight. Dallas in a good moment here. Musa gets turned, a lot of space for him, lifts this one in behind for Kamungo, takes it down with the left foot, stabs it towards Daniel, but again, the Brazilian quick out off his line.
That's a great pick out by Petar Musa.
Tackle one in midfield by Ramiro. Ramiro has options now, out to Musa on the right side. Musa shot from the edge of the box, dragged it just wide, hit it with some serious pace. Chances piling up now in these last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to San Jose, but they're just giving Dallas the ball, and Dallas doing a good job of taking advantage.
We're not quite sure how Dallas won back the ball either. It's been an interesting adventure tonight with our producer.
I guess Bruce Arena over on the sideline needs to yell, keep the ball a little bit more, right?
Bruce Arena answers with his second substitution of the match, bringing in Osani Buda, replacing Nico Shakiris. Buda, one of two players for San Jose, who's played in every game. He's mostly been a bench option. Eric Quill with an interesting thought experiment here on the fly. Do you stick with the team that's generating this momentum, or do you inject some life, some fresh legs in right at the moment when you have it? Here's Arango going the other way, though. And behind for Espinosa along the right side. Lifts this one in towards Arango. Over his head, headed away by Abubakar. Harks, bit of a shameless dive for a foul. Nothing given there on the edge of the Dallas box.
Well, on your question, put me on team fresh legs, because as Arango got that ball and turned it about 30 yards, he was ahead of every FC Dallas midfielder there. Ramiro, Kaike, and Patrickson all giving chase. So I think they need to freshen up the midfield a little bit, maybe.
Be a San Jose throw in the attacking third. Taken by Roberts. Looks like Buddha setting up as a left winger here for San Jose, as Ramiro wins a nice tackle from Bo LaRue. Space in midfield for Kaike. Off his left foot, finds Patrickson on the far side. Lets it run, keeps it in play. Now Rodriguez for company. Patrickson cuts back onto his favored right foot. Now has two defenders around him, tries to split the double team and gives it away. Ultimately just ran out of ideas on that one.
He did such a good job of advancing the ball up the left side, and then just needed to, as he got the second guy over, needed to play it off of him.
Kaike had one back possession for Dallas in the middle of the field and had runners ahead of him. He was brought down unceremoniously by Ian Harks, who's going to pick up a yellow card. I think Harks might have lost his footing and realized the moment, grabbed Kaike on the way down. Take a look now. No, it was more of just a rugby tackle. Horse collar tackle. That's 15 yards on the gridiron.
I think you're right. I think he did. It did slip, and then he made sure that Kaike didn't get away.
I don't let you do that with pads on. 68th minute. Another chance for Patrickson from the dead ball.
I tell you what, when Lucho Acosta gets back into the team off this yellow card accumulation suspension, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of Patrickson on the dead balls.
Hesitation. Now he lifts it in towards the back post. Abubakar meets it with the right foot. And whether it was a shot or a cross, it was off target and he was offside. And he looked over towards the bench, wondering why Patrickson went with that hesitation. And now going the other way, it's Espinosa. Patrickson's the one defending. Espinosa lifts it towards Buddha at the back post. Abubakar gets back just in time. Wins the header, breaks for Buddha again though. Will run right at him. Fresh legs from Osani Buddha. Down the line, gets to his left foot. Header away by Ibiaga. Now Rodriguez off the left foot. Shot from distance, held by Martin Paz. That was how San Jose found an avenue to score in the first half. Was just a random Rodriguez shot from the top of the box. This time on target and saved by the Dallas #1.
That's going to go down as Martin Paz' first save tonight, coming in the 69th minute. Defending has been pretty good out in front of Martin Paz.
Kaike holding off LaRue. Shaq Moore creates his own space into the feet of Bernie Kamungo, tripped up. And the referee did blow for a foul.
He got the whistle, finally got it up into his mouth. It was just late.
Didn't blow with much conviction there. But it is a foul won by Bernie Kamungo. Kaike is in a lot of space here, and he picks it up now, finds Patrickson. Patrickson lifts it towards the back post, spotting the run of Marco Farfan, headed away by Rodriguez. Freelancing a little bit on the dead ball opportunities to mix results, but here's a giveaway to Musa. Now Kamungo from the edge of the box. Kamungo drags it inches wide.
I mean, terrible giveaway there from San Jose over on the right side. Just a sloppy pass. Musa picks it up and finds Bernie Kamungo immediately. Kamungo is able to fire a shot from just outside the penalty area and actually glances off the outside of the far post.
As close as you can come. Dallas now hit the woodwork twice in the game. One of them in the build-up to the first goal. Kamungo so close to his second goal in the league this season. San Jose just, they look there for the taking right now as it's put in behind for the run of Joseph Martinez right on cue. They're looking to take the lead once again. It's Arango from distance. We got the shot on target, saved by Pass, and the referee's going to bring it back for a free kick. My understanding is that's not how the rule works.
No, you played the advantage.
It wasn't like a half advantage either. He took the shot. It was a decent shot, saved by Martin Pass. Now you get another opportunity from the free kick. And Espinosa, as we've mentioned at length, one of the best in the business, and this is a prime location for him. Can shoot or cross. Plenty of targets to aim at. Dallas have set a 2-player wall. Espinosa on the approach, whips it towards the near post, and that one hits the roof of the net. Fortunately, the outer roof of the net. As Pass gave it a dive, but watched it over the bar.
Well, 72nd minute, Dallas playing its second game on the road in 4 nights. I'm a little surprised that Eric Quill hasn't gone to the bench yet.
I'd say more than a little on this side of the booth.
I mean, they're doing pretty well with the ball. Probably had the better chances over the last 10 or 15 minutes.
They're dealing with fresh legs, and Buddha, who's got a lot of space up this near side. Now dribbles into 3 Dallas defenders, but hits the switching ball over to LaRue, laid out for Espinosa. Low ball driven in off of Abubakar, off the crossbar, and acrobatically cleared by Farfan. Dallas living on the edge there. It's back out to Espinosa. Low ball sent in, intercepted by Farfan. And Dallas will play out of the pressure well.
I mean, that's as close as they've come to scoring since the 21st minute goal by Harks.
Kaike, lovely move put on Espinosa. He brings it up the left side into the feet of Kamungo. Tried to lay it back for Ramiro. Now both Dallas midfielders out of the play as it's brought forward now by Martinez. Martinez sets it back for Roberts. Out wide for Buddha. Buddha onto his right foot looking for a lane to shoot. Checks it back now for Harks. Out wide with LaRue. LaRue sees 2 Dallas defenders. Checks it back for Espinosa trailing the play. Whipped in, deflected at the near post. Buddha tried the volleyed effort, and it's off target.
It's going to be a goal kick in the 74th minute. So the problem for Dallas right now is, especially as Buddha's come into the match, San Jose started to get opportunities off transition moments, just like that one, as the ball was flashed in from the right side, and Abubakar just couldn't deal with it, and it bounced right off his foot and right off the crossbar past Martin Paz.
I'll tell you what, Martin Paz, incredible reaction, because if it was on target, he was at full stretch, and I think he would have kept it out. Won't go down as a save, and ultimately he wasn't required, but display of his ability there as Dallas is readying their first change of the match now. I see, it looks like Logan Farrington. Volleyed high up in the air by Romney. Under one in the midfield by Harks, but it breaks for Ibiaga through the lines, finds Musa. Musa on the turn, looks for the run of Kamungo in behind.
I think Kamungo's tired. He's not doing what he was doing earlier, which is making really quick early runs, decisive runs. And that just looks like some fatigue. That time Musa had a chance to play an early ball, but Kamungo hadn't launched the run yet.
Nice sliding intervention by Torquato. He's grown into the game nicely. Puts that pass maybe a yard wide of Kaike, who's now going to be whistled for a foul. And I'll refrain from complimenting anyone in the Dallas side just in case. These things start to kick off between Patrickson and Espinosa. Espinosa's already been booked. Getting word it is going to be Farrington for Kamungo when Dallas can make the change. And it will go ahead and make that change now, defending this free kick. Kamungo makes his way off the field on the opposite side. A good shift tonight, unlucky not to find his way onto the score sheet. Hitting the post just about 5 minutes ago, and now Farrington really big opportunity to potentially be a match winner here on the road. First, he's got to defend on this set piece from way out. Espinosa just lifts it into the box towards Romney. Header won by Shaq Moore. Off from him and out for a throw. Referee will hold play for a change on the other side by the looks of things. 2 of them.
He's got to make whatever moves he's got now because this is his final sub window.
It's Jack Scan and Preston Judd into the match. Bo LaRue has been replaced here, as well as Roberts. Attacking move here, bringing another forward for Arango, Martinez, and Judd all out there. That tells you where Bruce Arena's head is at. His team is also without a win in 4 games, by the way.
They've had a pretty good run, but they have had a lot of draws in there. That was before they got sort of clocked the other night by Minnesota on short rest.
78th minute. Bruce Arena with his final roll of the dice. Eric Quill still with cards in the deck. As Poss goes long right to the foot of Logan Farrington, brings it down. Here's his first touch of the game. Faces up Rodriguez, puts it in behind for Musa on the far side, holding off his defender. Back to Torquato. Now Ramiro back to Ibeagha. Gives it to Torquato in a really difficult position to deal with, and he thought he won a free kick. Referee waves him up.
Yeah, he's not going to get that one.
Boubacar sliding in against Judd. Now gets it back to Ibeagha, who will send it long, sensibly so. Foot race to it between Romney and Patrickson. San Jose man has the head start, gets it back to Daniel. Daniel long, header won by nobody really. It was off of both Martinez and Farfan, broke for Ibeagha, who again lifted it towards the right side. Patrickson only just getting back in formation from that sprint.
Yeah, it's a good job though by Patrickson of moving forward at a full sprint to apply pressure to Daniel, who just had to launch it, and Dallas won it back momentarily.
Moore goes sliding in, wins it from Buda, and the referee took a moment to think about it and then eventually blew the whistle against the Dallas right back.
I thought Shaq Moore had position there. I mean, it's a contact sport, and he had position.
Ball fired into the feet of Martinez, who's got another traditional number 9 to play with now in Judd. Very attacking formation for San Jose at the moment. Dallas hit with the counter punch. Ka'ike brings it forward, sliding tackle there. All right, it's going to be a yellow card for Bruno Wilson for a handball on the ground, I think.
Yeah, Ka'ike was about to get by him, and whether he did it intentionally or not, as he was going down, I think he sort of cradled that ball in his arm.
I'll tell you, Wilson was fortunate not to be booked earlier for a hard foul and kicking the ball away. Now he does get his yellow card, but
he might actually have been hard done on that one. I think he was trying to avoid it hitting his arm, and I think he did. I think it actually got him onto the armpit underneath as he was sliding down.
Ramiro lifts this one in towards the edge of the box, looking for a Boubacar. Header won by Buda. Second ball, header won by Patrickson. Third ball won by Patrickson as well, and then he's clattered into by Buda. He'll have a free kick, this one a little closer to goal. 80th minute. Dallas holding a point on the road as things stand. Starting to get to the point in the season and the place in the table where they need to be thinking about 3 here. Including tonight, 13 games remaining in the season. To get to that playoff average Steve mentioned earlier, they need to pick up 23 points the rest of the way. Get to that 43-44 point range. That's usually good enough for those play-in spots. Dallas' season went to San Jose to die in 2024. It was in the final weeks, and they were still holding on to hope.
Well, just a little bit more context. You know, when you've lost 4 in a row, a draw on the road does not look that bad. On the other hand, you're right. You know, the clock is ticking, and you've only got, as you just said, 12 after this one.
Boubacar and Arango tangling in the center circle, and whistle goes against the Dallas man. Taken quickly by Wilson, gets it rolling out to this near side for Buda. Buda, drop of the shoulder, looking to get to the end line. Shaq Moore leaning on him all the way, and Musa back helping out defensively, blocks it behind for a corner.
Now Buda's done something to liven up the San Jose attack.
It's been Bruce Arena's super sub of choice this season. 3 goals and an assist, now 22 games. Espinosa lining up this corner kick from the near side, whipped in right on top of Martin Paz, who gets 2 hands to it. And out the other end, Patrickson sliding tackle to get things going the other way. Logan Farrington on it, running through the middle. It's Torquato. Torquato checks back, finds Patrickson. Now Musa on the halfway line, lifts this one in behind for Farrington along the left side. I think the timing was off, and the pass certainly overhit that time.
Yeah, the angle wasn't right, the weight wasn't right. I think Farrington could have gotten in down the left side. Musa just didn't get the pass where he wanted it.
Rodriguez brings it into the attacking half. 83rd minute, 1-1 your score at PayPal Park. Farfan and Ka'ike both trying to make the same interception, get in each other's way. Breaks back for San Jose. Now down the far side, it's Harks. Harks, right-footed ball swung in towards Judd, who gets the header towards goal, but over the top. First chance for a reserve striker up off the bench.
Yeah, a good defensive performance by Dallas, sort of undermined there when allowed a little bit too much room down the right side, and then Judd just slipped in between Ibeagha and Abubakar, found too much room, and fortunately for Dallas, he just wasn't in a good spot to be able to direct anything with any venom toward Martin Paz.
Well, I mentioned this, a rematch of the original matchup for FC Dallas, the Dallas Burn back in 1996, but of course Dallas is celebrating 30 years in Major League Soccer. The club is commemorating its most iconic moments, kits, players, and more. You can visit fcdallas.com/30 to relive all those most important moments. As Dallas looking for an important moment here, Musa cross from the far side will break for Shaq Moore at the near side. Back to Ramiro, corner of the 18. Lifts it into the box. Feet of Logan Farrington, holds off his defender. Back heel to Ramiro. Back post Musa. 2-1 Dallas. Petar Musa at the double. And the Clash feel the burn at PayPal Park.
Been working on that one for a while, Ryan. It's a good one. It's a good goal. It's a big moment in Dallas' season.
Since '96, baby.
And he's still got a little work to do to get this one over the finish line, but that's a great job. As the ball starts with Musa on the left side, but hey, who is it that plays the target man? Logan Farrington gets the ball at the corner of the box, little back heel, back for Ramiro, who pops into the penalty area at just the right time, making a good hard run up the right side. Gets to the ball first. Petar Musa's coming in from the left side after having delivered that cross there. Simplest of touches. He's just about 3 feet out as he knocks that one in off Ramiro's really nice pass.
He starts the move and he finishes the move for the second time tonight. That is a decisive performance from Petar Musa.
You know, he was a little behind his 16-goal pace from last year.
This is right when he picked it up, though, wasn't it?
That's what he's doing tonight with his 8th and 9th goals. And that was an easy one, but his first goal was a nice one, as he had a lot of work to do on the first one.
Well, an easy one as far as the finish itself. Here's Scan in along the left side. Ka'ike sliding in towards the inline. Scan sends it in. Martinez, and Martinez equalizes instantly. You knew he'd probably have a moment, as he often does against Dallas. Dallas appealing right now that the ball went out of play. And that would be a real gut punch if it stands.
Ka'ike, as good as he's been tonight, he just couldn't quite get the defensive work right.
Oh, I think it's out, you know.
Well, may have gone out. You're right. We just saw a quick replay.
It's going to have to be decisive.
So it's Scan that gets the cross in, and Martinez comes across from the left side. It looks like Farfan is trying to catch up there, but it's Martinez with a close-in header.
That's going to be your best angle.
The angle we just saw, if they can slow that down. Just saw an angle from right behind the goal, and it looked like there might have been just a little bit of green in there.
Bated breath here for Dallas, having just grabbed the lead. Did they squander it away? The goal has been confirmed. Man, is that a gut punch.
Joseph Martinez, 9th goal this year. Matching Peter Moose's 9th.
7-7 against FC Dallas in his career. Who will have the final blow in this one? 2-2, now your score, 88th minute. Lifted in behind. Espinosa brings it down with his first touch, sliding tackle from Torquato, back out to Espinosa. Whips it in off the right foot in towards Martinez, again flicked on by Ibeagha, and shot dragged wide of the near post by Scan. Dallas defenders perplexed here, furious with each other.
Well, nobody's picking up Joseph Martinez as he just goes into the penalty area there. Ibeagha's lucky that he got the header, because Joseph Martinez just drifting into the penalty area, and there's nobody there to pick him up.
Well, the credit for that goes to Bruce Arena for putting Preston Judd in there as well. Now there's an extra man. It's freed up, the former MLS MVP.
And fair enough, but Dallas has to respond and just make sure they make the adjustment.
Foul goes, one by Ramiro at the halfway line.
I mean, they've got 3 center backs in there. Well, Marco Farfan's not a natural center back, but the formation they're playing is with 3 center backs.
Patrickson's going to take this one. Standing in the Dallas half, will take it in the San Jose half. Right arm raised. Air underneath it. Daniel thought about coming for it, but it's Abubakar who wins the header into the middle. Headed away by Scan. Now forward for Espinosa. Ibeagha picks his pocket from behind, and Torquato just sends it clear. Farrington trying to keep it in play. Did he do so? He did, and he won a throw. Take it quickly into the feet of Ka'ike. Ka'ike with some space here in the left channel, finds Patrickson, set back for Ramiro, spread across for Shaq Moore. Down the line for Patrickson again. Tried the back heel looking for Moore, didn't get it right. It's cleared away, foot race to it. It's going to be won by Abubakar. And he just has to put it out for a throw. Parks diagonal from near side to far. Espinosa 1v1 with Torquato. Espinosa gets the space, but Torquato blocks the cross behind for a corner.
Boy,
7 minutes added on.
It's transition moments that are really hurting Dallas right now, and they've got to either figure out, are they going to press and be aggressive and stop the transition at that end, or are they just going to get back and make sure they get their numbers in order?
Torquato stayed down here, getting some help from Logan Farrington with a cramp. Is he going to have to go off is the question. As Uriguide set to return the next opportunity.
I just wonder if Urguide might have been in there just a little bit earlier.
Whipped in by Espinosa. Header won by Rodriguez off target. Torquato, I think his race is run. He's limping.
Well, I mean, right now, whether it's Alvaro or Urguide, it looks like it's going to be Urguide. I think Dallas needs to get another natural center back in.
We've got 6 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Briefly took the lead.
And I understand, 3 points is what you really want here, but my heavens, you just don't want the gut punch of giving up the point on the road.
Foul won by Ramiro on halfway, and it will be Osaze Urguide to make his return. First action since May 28th at FC Cincinnati. His absence has surely been felt in this Dallas back line. He replaces Torquato. That'll shift Farfan out to wing back.
Great to get him back on the field, and really have to be careful in those transition moments now, because you don't want Urguide to have to go full sprint.
Well, he's in there to try and attack this one. First header won by Musa. Second header challenging forward is Abubakar, but the flag goes up for offside. Daniel takes it quickly out to Buda. Kaike defending. Buda, dangerous ball in the midfield, does find Scahan on the turn. Rodriguez waiting for Espinosa to make the move. It is Espinosa, but really deep here. Urguide sets up on the left of the Dallas back three. Buda going for the 1-2 here. He gets in behind Shaq Moore momentarily. Moore now back in defensive position. Off the right foot of Buda into the danger area. Off of Preston Judd. It'll be a goal kick.
I mean, I know the math just doesn't look great here. You want 3 points if you're FC Dallas, but I have to say, the worst thing that could happen here, if they get out right now with a draw, you come back to Dallas for the game coming up this week. It's going to be a big one with everything going on. You want to walk into the locker room feeling okay about yourself right now. You give up a goal here, and I really think it doesn't set yourself up very well for the final dozen matches. Get the draw, and you're feeling okay about things. You feel like things are pointed in the right direction.
Urguide wins a big header there, puts it out for a throw on halfway through stoppage time. 3.5 minutes to go. Northern California tonight. Will there be a winner? Will there be a twist at the end of the tail? Buda chased back by Shaq Moore. Back to Harks, who's dropping in over to Romney. Wilson picks out Harks again. Back to Wilson. Dallas, everybody back defensively. It's in down the right side. It's Espinosa closed down by a sliding Urguide, puts it out for a corner. And San Jose wanted to go short on this corner, but Dallas are going to make one last change. It's bringing in Tarek Scott for Patrickson. Patrickson, a lot of good things tonight that he can reflect on. Looked frustrated coming off. Obviously not in a leading position that Dallas had for just a moment. Tarek Scott thrown right into the action here. Has to be switched on defensively. It's going to be an Espinosa corner. Romney makes the run towards the near post. It's over his head, headed away by Ibeagha. Tarek Scott on a full sprint to go try and track it down. It's back to Daniel.
Ibeagha's had a strong match.
Daniel goes long, header won by Rodriguez. Dallas get it clear, helped on by Musa. Breaks for Tarek Scott off his chest, looking for Farrington, fighting for it with Rodriguez. Whistle for a foul. It's just not enough in a professional soccer game to call a foul for that.
You like to see the young man being physical, though.
Minute and a half to potentially decide the game. Urquidy stepping out of the back line to put pressure on higher up the field. Tarek Scott, the one-man press right now as San Jose build up on the far side. Espinosa forced back.
Good job at Dallas of applying high pressure.
Long ball header won by Ibeagha. Referee blows for a foul that Dallas, I don't think they wanted. They had numbers going the other way. It fell at the feet of Logan Farrington.
I kind of feel like they're okay with it, though. I really think they're just trying to nurse this one home now. Not do anything to make sure that don't walk out of PayPal Park with nothing.
Launched long by Martin Paz. Just over the head of Farrington. Final seconds here of stoppage time. Farrington's actually whistled for a foul. It's the ever-shifting scale of what a foul means.
I wanted to see a little bit more fight from Dallas tonight versus what we saw in LA, and I think we got it.
And towards Urquidy, who just dumps Joseph Martinez to the turf. Ramiro spots the run of Musa over the top, looking for him. Romney wins the header, breaks for Musa. First time ball cushioned in the path of Ka'ike, just out of reach. We've played 7 minutes, maybe one last attack here for San Jose. Out to Arango on the near side. Arango towards Buda, back heel towards Harks. And the referee belatedly blows for a free kick centrally in a shooting position. Bizarre decision. And the time is up, first of all. But get on with it. One last chance for San Jose.
It was Ramiro, but I thought he had won it pretty clean.
Paz setting a very important wall right now. A lot of players in it.
This is going to come at about 28 yards dead center.
6-man wall, one laying beneath it. Espinosa and Arango lining this one up. It's Arango off the Dallas wall. Back out to Rodriguez, we play on. The referee's whistle goes, nobody's sure what for.
There's a penalty check.
I think this is one of those where the game is most likely over unless the VAR spots something here.
Judd and Urquidy getting into it. Urquidy getting right back after it.
It hits the arm of Farrington, but it's attached to the body, and that'll do it.
Yeah, he does turn into it, but his arm is just sewn into his body, so nothing's going to come of that. There's the final whistle.
Both teams striking in each half. Dallas momentarily grabbed the lead in the 85th minute. Joseph Martinez, over the Dallas killer, equalizes in the 86th. A lot to talk about as Dallas in their losing streak with the draw on the road at San Jose tonight. Thank you so much for joining us late here in midweek action on the FC Dallas Radio Network. This one ends FC Dallas 2 and the San Jose Earthquakes 2.
So, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, just took the Tacoma off-road, deep into the woods, got to this hidden campsite only it could reach.
Nice. I hooked up the boat to the Tundra and hit up the lake. Towed it like a pro. Had the whole lake to ourselves.
Hey, wait, did I mention I went rock climbing too? Uh-huh, yeah, thanks to the Tacoma's crawl control.
Well, sounds like we both had fun weekends.
Mine was better.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for all the fun. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. Just 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
Hi everyone, it's Marco Farfan, and you're listening to FC Dallas Soccer on the FC Dallas app.
After 90-plus minutes at PayPal Park, it's FC Dallas 2, San Jose Earthquakes 2. After a prolonged battle, sees Dallas leave California with at least 1 point out of their last 2 matches. Hello, everybody. It's the FC Dallas postgame show brought to you tonight by your local Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. Also brought to you by UMB Bank. See how UMB can help you achieve your business goals. I'm your host, Sam Hale. I'll be joined in just a moment by the voices of tonight's match, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. But let's start first with your post-game highlights. The first blood went to San Jose in the 21st minute. Ian Harkes blows one past Martin Paz after he was left largely unattended at about 20 yards. That made it San Jose 1, FC Dallas 0. But then in the 45th minute and stoppage time, it was Petar Musa getting the first of his 2 goals.
Boubacar back to Musa. Now puts the ball in behind for the run of Patrickson, who I think has stayed onside here. Patrickson in all alone against Daniel, chips it past him and rattles the crossbar. The rebound breaks for Petar Musa inside the box, off the right foot, and Petar Musa scores in a broken play. This time it's Dallas who strike back.
Musa's 8th goal of the MLS season made it 1-1 Dallas-San Jose, and that was the score at the break. 40 minutes later, it was the natural brace for the Moose who gave Dallas the lead in the 85th.
As Dallas looking for an important moment here. Musa cross from the far side will break for Shaq Moore at the near side. Back to Ramiro, corner of the 18. Lifts it into the box. Feet of Logan Farrington holds off his defender. Back heel to Ramiro. Back post Musa. 2-1 Dallas. Petar Musa at the double. And the Clash feel the burn at PayPal Park.
Musa's 9th goal of the season, his 2nd of the game, gives him the natural brace, and that made it 2-1 FC Dallas in the 85th minute. But it was yet to last, as less than a minute later, it was Joseph Martinez, the former MVP, off the assist of Jack Skane, who ball looked like it rolled over the line. A quick check said no, but in the 86th minute, it was Martinez leveling it at 2-2, and that is where the score finished, as Dallas and San Jose have to settle for even honors. Let's bring you tonight's post-game stats, which are brought to you by UMB Bank. Possession-wise goes the way of the Quakes, 60-40. 13 shots for San Jose, 3 of those on target. 12 shots for Dallas, 5 of those were on target. Each side had 4 corners. Dallas offside 7 times tonight. A big-time, small flaw in the plan for FCD. 3 saves for Daniel, 1 save for Martin Paz. 19 fouls for the Quakes, 4 yellow cards, only 18 fouls for Dallas, but no yellow cards for the Toros tonight for FCD. As we bring in the voices of tonight's matchup at Ryan Figert and Steve Davis, and Ryan, I'll start with you. It's one of those glass half empty, glass half full, kind of depends on your perspective games. Glass half full, I think the team played really well, and they get a point when, they have been struggling to get points. But if you're kind of a glass half empty guy, man, you had the lead, and it felt like it was right there, and those problems cropped up. Where do you sit with this one?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say it feels like, on the one hand, 1 point gained. Feels like, on the other hand, 2 points lost, in an equal measure, because Dallas put together one of their most complete performances for me of the entire season, except for the 86th minute when they conceded straight from kickoff to Joseph Martinez. Overall, the team playing a little bit differently with no Lucho Acosta, no Pedrinho, playing with 3 center backs tonight. They limited the best attacking team in the league statistically to below their season average in shots, under 1 XG, depending on which, XG service you look at. But, right around there, 1 XG, that's really good for a team that has, Arango, Martinez, Espinosa, a team that just hung 4 on you at home 3 weeks ago. Much improved performance from that one for sure, and they snapped the losing streak. It could have been so much more, though. It could have been glorious.
I mean, I get it, and again, I know the math says that they need to pick up points at a higher clip, but I'm just going to take the little bit bigger view here and just say it's a big point for FC Dallas because you just said it, snapping the losing streak, getting yourself going the right direction. You come home, you got a match against St. Louis that they absolutely have to win. St. Louis is not a good team this year, so I just think if you'd gotten back on the plane tonight, coming back to Dallas with a 5th consecutive loss, you're just not feeling very good about things. This, you get on the plane feeling okay, feeling like you're a step here or there from, getting the game winner or maybe preventing San Jose's late goal. So I think they can, I think they can go to the locker room feeling okay about this one and come home and try to beat St. Louis.
Yeah, 4 wins, 3 losses, 5 draws, if I'm not mistaken, is the current record on the road, which is good for 17 points. And that just a really strong effort. And before we dig into individuals, I think it is worth considering, and Steve, I'll start with you, the overall effort tonight. This is a team that, looked a little, I don't want to say lifeless, but they could have had some more life against LAFC. So a response was needed tonight, especially considering you didn't have a decent amount of players, including Lucho Acosta. And what we saw tonight, I think, was a very good example of what Eric Quill wants from his teams. I have written down the word of the day is industry. There was a very industrious game tonight from FCD.
Well, led by Ka'ike and that absolute power pack of energy in the first half, or industry if you want to call it that. But you're absolutely right. We talked about it. One of the keys for the match, just more fight. Just show me more fight. Show me that you still got something left. What's in your heart to finish out this season, to make a run, make a run for the playoffs that are still within sight, and you got a lot of it tonight. And I know we'll talk about it, a little bit later, but Lucho Acosta not being in the team gave them one more player that's wasn't just going to rely on technical ability and trying to make the magic moment. He was just he gave you one more guy who was just going to go out there, and if he lost the ball, he was going to fight to get it back. He's going to try to cover a little bit more ground, and there are some other individuals that I want to talk about, Sam, and I know you'll get to them, but I think Ka'ike just absolutely set an amazing standard out there for effort in the first half. He tired in the second half, but that's okay. I mean, he set such a good standard for others around him. That sort of stuff. You see a teammate doing that, it makes you work harder. So, good fight, good energy tonight.
Yeah, Ka'ike is my silver medalist for man of the match tonight. I want to get to him again, but that's because, Ryan, my gold medalist, I think, is undisputed. It's Petar Musa. This was a trademark Petar Musa performance. 2 goals. He could have gotten an assist on his own goal in the first half, and then he scores the second one off a just beautiful piece of work by Ramiro and Logan Farrington helping him out. But this is we were reminded last year constantly why the team paid a record fee for Musa, and we were reminded again tonight. This is exactly the kind of performance that Dallas paid so much money for last year.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Because he's been, sort of the main catalyst that's worked with Lucho Acosta throughout the year. He's the only one that's really had a connection with him consistently, the sort of foil to the number 10. But today it was his team. No Lucho Acosta involved because of the suspension. And the way the team played reflected Petar Musa and also responded to his movement. They knew how to play off of him. It was predictable in the way that he would drop in. Somebody would make the run in behind. His work rate, I mean, you look in the final 5-10 minutes of this game, before he even scores the second goal, when it's 1-1, he's tracking back. He's defending, making it 2 defenders to help Shaq Moore. He's tracking back. He's helping Josh Torquato, who's making his first start in MLS. He was the leader of this team, both in terms of quality, in terms of effort. They look to him, I think, as well as their best player and their number 9. And when you have him up front, you feel like you have a chance in any game. And this performance shows you exactly why they have that confidence in him. I was, really happy to see him back to the form that we saw throughout the summer. Something about the Heat, something about the summer, he just gets into form. And we saw it last year when he went on a tear, including that hat trick against Minnesota. If I was St. Louis, I would certainly be doing some extra game planning for a Petar Musa performance on Saturday. I also want to look at the second goal because if there's any indoor soccer enjoyers listening to us, this is a peak indoor soccer goal. goal. You fire it into the target guy. He's holding the defender on his back. Logan Farrington just backing him down like a postman. Ramiro makes the extra run, gets to the end line. If it's indoor soccer, maybe you fire it off the boards, but he cuts it back across. And where do you score goals? At the back post. Petr Musa beats his man there, gets in front of him, and taps it in, knowing where the goals are scored. He knows how to score them. Scored almost a goal every other game in his Dallas career now. What a performance from him. Unfortunate, it didn't result in 3 points.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll start with the raw numbers. As we walk into the night, Musa's sitting on 7 goals and 4 assists. Okay, not bad. It's not quite what he was doing last season with his 16-goal season as he came to Dallas. Well, 2 goals tonight. 9. Now he's got 9 for the season. Now he's sort of back on track, and maybe he can. This is, as you pointed out in the broadcast, this is about where he heated up last year. So maybe he can match that 16 goals from last year. But what I really liked tonight, we talked about him dropping in, but I really, really liked the game plan Quill put together. And it's not just that he's dropping in. He always does that, but he's dropping in at the right times tonight. He stays high. Dallas gets the ball. What do they usually do? What's been the edict all year? Find Acosta early, right? Well, tonight it was find Musa early. So Dallas gets the ball. Musa's high, but then he drops in quickly at the right time. Timing is so important, and he did it really well all night. Turns, he feed a ball out to the wing, which we saw a little bit, but more often he's trying to feed Bernie in behind, and that's how they got that first goal. He was actually looking for Bernie, but Patrickson does a great job of sort of reading the run and making a redundant run there, but he gets on the ball, and that turns into the Moose goal. So 3 chances created tonight for the Moose. It was a great game for him.
Yeah, very much a horizontal and a vertical game tonight for Dallas. It makes the metaphorical H there, and I think Musa was easily the man of the match for FCD, and probably of the match entirely, even though you had a couple of strong performances from San Jose. But this ain't a San Jose podcast, so I'm not necessarily worried about those. But I think, sharing on the podium with him is the aforementioned Ka'ike, and I think Patrickson probably might take third. I think you can make an argument for whoever was bronze tonight. But we talked in the pregame show, Steve, you specifically did about, hey, in that midfield, it's going to be Patrickson that could be the X factor. What does he bring tonight? And he went from, in the 6th minute, we're not even sure he can continue after he gets spiked by Vitor Costa, to, yeah, he ran out of gas near the end. No shame in that. He played, almost 90, I think over 90 minutes. He had a very, not maybe his best game ever, but he and Ka'ike together provided the engine that you were looking for to really kind of power this game through.
Well, Patrickson's set-piece service was really good tonight,
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, I'm going to go back to Ka'ike for a second because 6 tackles, game high for either team, fouled 4 times, so he's always around the ball, game high, both teams. 11 of 14, winning 11 of 14 on his ground duels. Covered a ton of ground, don't have the final amount of ground that he covered, but he was immense. Again, not exactly the same in the second half. He just ran out of gas a little bit. But for your bronze medal on the on the Dallas on the Dallas
man of the match podium, yeah.
Right. Let me introduce one Sebastian Ibeagha.
Okay.
Because I thought he was really good. Remember his big moment in the first half when Joseph Martinez wiggled free and was about to and had a cutback ball and was about to shoot at about 14 yards.
He does a roller skating move to block him.
Ibeagha sticks that big left foot out there. He ends up with I believe 3 shots. And he's a set piece menace all night. Took a really big save from Daniel. In fact, there was 2 saves that Daniel made, the goalkeeper for San Jose, and I still think one of them was Ibeagha pressuring Rodriguez, and Rodriguez stuck his leg out. But anyway, that was a big save. And then later, Daniel makes a fantastic save on another Ibeagha shot from point blank. But he was clearing balls all night. What do you have here? 8 clearances, 11 defensive actions, 5 of 6 on his ground duels. 5 of 6 on his aerial duels, 2 of 3 on his ground duels. So I think Ibeagha was really good tonight as well.
My nomination, I think, would be Ramiro. I think this was the most complete game that we saw from him because he also got involved in the attack. He gets the assist on the second goal. And, sometimes with Ramiro, his lack of pace is accentuated by his, eagerness to be the one to lead the press. And it's not, that it's the wrong idea for maybe a different player with more of a physical skill set in terms of recovery speed. It might be the right idea for Ka'ike to do what he's doing, but it's not the right idea for Ramiro. I don't think we saw that tonight. I don't remember any moments where the middle of the field was completely vacated, except for one where he made an overlapping run on the left wing and it didn't work out, and then things could have gone south from there. But besides that, I think he was really disciplined, and he was in there with two players that just eat up the ground, in Patrickson and Ka'ike, and he directed them well. Two young players. I think his guidance was important, and he picks up an assist tonight. I believe that's his second of the season, and he also had some pretty strong defensive numbers. So I would say Ramiro had a really solid game, probably his most complete for me in a Dallas uniform.
It's interesting that you put it all together, everything that we talked about. I think this was probably the platonic ideal of what Eric Quill came into the season wanting. Fast vertical, get the ball moving forward quickly, just be dogs all over the field. That was the game plan that I think he would like to see, as he walked into the job. So sort of everything we just talked about, if you sort of assemble it all and put it and set it in front of you, say, oh, that's what Eric Quill came into the season wanting.
And without an Anderson Julio type threat as well, which we know is important to how the team plays. And Bernie had some good moments. I think he had particularly some good individual moments where he just fought through tackles and bounced off of players and got a couple of shots away, but he didn't have his top line speed tonight. And if you had, a sprinter like Anderson Julio in behind, I think, you create one or two more chances just through that and sort of that avenue of Musa feeding his strike partner. So even without some of the key weaponry and Osaze only getting, in stoppage time, if he's in there for longer, I think we might have even seen more of a prototypical game in terms of how Eric Quill wants to play.
Yeah, I'm glad you shouted out Bernie because he actually had, I think really the first half in specific, he really showed what he could do under Quill, and probably the injury just slowed him down a little bit, literally and metaphorically in the case.
Yeah, I think just before we move on from him, I think he did so many good things, and he also did so many bad things at the same time in terms of giving the ball away. Particularly there was a 5-10 minute stretch in the first half where I think it found him 3-4 straight times, and he just couldn't keep hold of the ball. And so if he can just clean up those moments, he can raise his floor from, a frustrating game to, okay, he's always going to give you this. He's always going to help you keep the ball and then be dangerous when we get closer to the final third. If he can add that to his game, he can find more consistent playing time, I think.
See, I see it just a little bit differently, though, Ryan. I think he is what he is. And I think, if you think about it like the baseball analogy, sometimes coaches will tell a batter, that's not your pitch, that's not your pitch, this is your pitch. You sit there and you wait for that pitch. And that's what I want to see Bernie Kamungo do. I don't think he's going to get better in those tight spaces, so I don't want to see him in those positions. You're right. It was 5 or 10 minutes where he and Musa somehow reverse roles, and Musa's not going to run in behind people, and Bernie Kamungo isn't going to grab the ball, turn, and use his body to shield it off the way Musa does, and he's not the passer that Musa is. So don't try. Stay up there, do the job that they gave you, that Eric Quill put in the game. Like every now and then it's going to happen where you're going to be in the wrong position or something like that. But there's 5 or 10 minutes where he was in that position repeatedly, and that tells me that he just sort of lost focus on what the game plan was, what the bigger strategy was. Once they got that thing reversed and got Moose where he needed to be and Bernie where he needed to be, it was all fine again. And then they got the goal.
Overall, definitely a good performance from him, and
for sure,
and one that they needed with the lack of depth in the forward areas right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed everybody's good performance tonight.
So I wanted to loop back to something you brought up, Stephen. I think you made a very salient point that tonight's performance was probably something very close to what Quill wants when he came into the job. Like that maybe not in results or formation, but very much in effort, intensity, and strategy. But this all came without Lucho Acosta, your big off-season acquisition, who was out with yellow card suspension. So I guess the question, there's really no delicate way to ask this. Is it concerning, or what descriptor would you use that you can make this as the closest performance that the head coach wants without his highest paid player and arguably his most talented player?
I would say I just hope that Lucho Acosta's watching and seeing the fight from his teammates and that he brings it in training this week.
And look, I don't know that you need to make any bigger pronouncements about it right now. Look, for me, if it's, as this team gets back into Texas and plays St. Louis this week, I don't know that I'm starting Lucho Acosta.
I was about to ask the same question.
But I don't see a reason to overthink this one. It was a good performance tonight. You know, it was such a good, energetic performance. I would have just hated for that team to walk in the locker room having gotten nothing out of it. They're feeling pretty good about things, feeling pretty good about the way they played. Well, so reward that system. You know, reward what I'm not saying you have to go with the exact same lineup, but, you know, there are probably a couple of little adjustments that you can make.
You have to sign Josh Torquato to do that, which
that's exactly
go on to
right.
do, but they'll have to make that decision.
But maybe Urguide can come back in the lineup.
Maybe Leggett can come back in the lineup.
Yep, yeah, you got Marco Farfan that can play that spot. So anyway, we can get into all that, but I think you look at that. You tell everybody that's the standard. That's the energy standard. That's the industry standard that we have to have for the rest of the season. And I just don't know that you can put Lucho Acosta back in there because the team changes its mindset and it changes its energy level when he comes back in there. And again, they're not looking for Musa, then they're looking for Lucho Acosta. So I just don't think you should overthink this one.
You know, I also think it goes back to something, and I've thought about this ever since Quill said it in his opening press conference. He wants guys that are going to go out there and fight. He doesn't want complacency in his 11. He always, he wants to create that, as we've said, the X-dog and just that general mentality. And I think this is a big moment for him. I'm glad I don't have to make these decisions. I'm not the head coach. I just get to talk about him. But I think he does have a decision to make, and I think there's very valid reasons to make the decision you just laid out, Steve. If we're going to talk about decision-making on a night of good, there was one that kind of perplexed me just a little bit, and it's because Quill's been so good at it, it's mainly substitutions. Dallas only brought on 3 total, and obviously kind of a short bench tonight as well, but they bring on Logan Farrington in the 76th. You get Osaze coming in the 90th plus the second, and then Tariq Scott in the 90th plus 5th. And I've got written down in the 72nd minute, man, where are the Dallas subs? 4 minutes later, they make the Farrington change. But it felt like one thing that really helped San Jose was they brought on 4 extra guys in that second half. Dallas, it wasn't a fault of the guy's performance. It's just playing that much soccer gets you tired, and some fresh legs felt like they would have helped in that moment late.
Yeah, I think there's 2 moments when I would have liked to see the changes. The first one would be when Buda comes in for San Jose. You know the type of player he is. He's direct. He's 1v1. He's quick. He's going to give Shaq Moore a handful, and he did. And ultimately, that played a part in the goal that you concede. If you bring in, a Sebastian Leggett who could play in midfield in front of him, help him out. If you bring in Osaze Urguide, if he's ready, obviously we're not privy to how many minutes he had in the tank or how much they were willing to risk him. But if you bring him in that moment, you give your backline a boost for sure, both physically and mentally, and you can sort of neutralize the threat that Buda's then able to create. The second moment would be as soon as you score. As soon as you score, I want to see Osaze Urguide with his jersey on coming into the game, because at that point, I mean, if you only were content with him to go stoppage time, it's the 86th minute. That's not much more than that. And if he comes into the game, he helps keep the team. He comes into the game, switches the mentality. Now he's not worried about having just scored a goal. He's worried about defending this lead, and sometimes that's so difficult to do, is when you've just scored, to stay switched on in the moments after it. He would have helped you do that, and obviously he could have helped defend the goal itself. Once Judd came in as well, would have been another option, because then they throw 2 center forwards in there, and it's just a lot for the Dallas center backs to handle. They were constantly losing track of Joseph Martinez, as crafty as he is in the box. There's a whole other battering ram in there, and Preston Judd. So credit to Bruce Arena, who I think did some decent things with his substitutions. No surprise there. And I'm with you, Sam, that I would have liked to see some fresh legs sooner, and particularly in response to the substitutions and the events of the game.
I tell you what, guys, on the fresh legs sooner, I'm a little back and forth on it, because on the one hand, when
Hold
Buda,
on, Steve. You told me you were team fresh legs in the moment. I don't want any revisionist
and I just said
history.
I'm back and forth. I'm waffling a little bit.
I want to hear his explanation.
Because when Buda came in, they were giving up some opportunities in the transition, and some fresh legs would have helped. I don't know. On the other hand, they were pressing, after that initial little thrust, little surge that Buda gave them. Dallas was having the better chances, So what they had on the attack was sort of working. Now, as far as Osaze Urguide, I'm 100% in agreement, because Marco Farfan, I thought, did okay as sort of a left-sided center back, as they went to 3 center backs tonight, and that what was sort of a 5-2-3 shape. But Martinez is tricky. He's crafty, as you said. And I just think maybe one more center back in there might have prevented the Martinez goal. It's a tough one because there's two ways to look at getting Osaze Urhoghide, the team's best player until he got hurt, back on the field. And remember, he hasn't played since late May, right? So you could say, got to get that guy back on the field ASAP because we need the results. Or you could say, got to get that guy back on the field, but be careful to make sure that we need him. We got him for the final 12 games, so not to press it too early to get him back on the field. So I do think you're right. Once that goal went in, the card should have been handed in, and it should have been one of those things where as soon as the players are celebrating, the coach is just screaming to get the guy in right now before the
just throwing up the 3, like that's just putting up like the bat signal because it's worth noting when Osaze came in. He looked like Osaze. He came in there. He blew a couple guys up. He was
and almost got in a fight at the end of it all.
Yeah, which is also part of his mentality. The nicest guy off the pitch and a junkyard dog on there. And I love that about him in general. I do want to give a special shout-out. We talked about it at Easton Mountain in pregame. Congrats to Josh Torquato, the 17-year-old making his MLS debut. I don't think, I think he played as well as a 17-year-old who had limited MLS experience could do, especially having to face Christian Espinosa. If he was a 24-year-old veteran, we wouldn't write home about it, but he's not. So big, a special award to that dude because that's a lot of hard work too, putting in for a guy that came through the academy who I don't think really knew his name before training camp in Portugal. And then I remember Ryan saying, hey, this guy's been brought into Algarve, and now, a few months later, he's made his MLS debut. So I think that's a really cool moment for the young man.
Yeah, for sure. And now he's given them a decision to make because we were looking into the short-term call-up rules. Obviously, he's not a signed first-team player right now. He's currently a signed North Texas player who's now exhausted his short-term call-ups for the season. So they have to make the decision. Do they sign him as a homegrown player? Do they wait? With the window opening on the 24th, do they have another player lined up who can come in and give them that depth once, you'd have to survive basically 2 games without a backup left back? Do you have somebody lined up that could come in and do that role for you? I mean, it's a decision to make. I think he showed enough for me in preseason, especially. I think he looked excellent in preseason, and he showed he belonged. And now in a really difficult matchup against Espinosa and a high-flying attack of San Jose, to me, now I'm confident he has a long-term future at the MLS level. Are they willing to pull the trigger, use a roster spot, all these different things? Those are decisions that will have to be made by Andres Sanada and his crew. But I think he's shown enough for me that he has a future, and it's exciting, to look back on this moment, 4 or 5 years from now, and he's a full-fledged starter for this Dallas team, and what it was like for the 17-year-old from Hawaii to face up with an MLS All-Star and do pretty well in general. I mean, 2 assists for Espinosa last time when these two teams met, and he held him off the board tonight. So credit to Josh.
Yeah, I can't really think of a moment where I'm like, oh, man, he really messed up. Like, I remember, Alvaro had a couple of those moments in his first games when he made his debut, but I can't really think of one of those for Torquato. So
we definitely need to get him on the bulking, on the protein, on the gym program. I'm sure they'll get him to that in the offseason because he does need to add a little weight into these tackles. And we talked about his duel percentage was a little low today, but, he's a kid playing in a grown man's game, and credit to him for the performance he was able to put in. He looked confident all the way through, and that can be the hardest thing to do.
Well, they're definitely picking on his side, mostly until Buddha came in and just creating little things off the dribble off the left. When they got into the Dallas back line in the second half, it was always on the right side, and so they're pulling him out of position a little bit over there in the second half and picking on him a little bit. But again, good first game for the 17-year-old, good first start that is, and he had even had the cramp at the end to show for it a little bit of a battle wound there. So.
Yeah, I think it's not the first time this season that someone's been thrust into the lineup. Someone under 23-year-old player has been thrust into the lineup, and they've shown well. I think Eric Cook can take confidence that these players coming up through the pipeline, they're ready to perform. I mean, obviously he sees more of them than we do. He sees them on the training field. He sees them with North Texas SC. But Alvaro's first game was excellent. Josh Torquato, excellent for me today for the expectations that were set for him.
Sam Sarver got a few minutes.
Had a nice cameo the other week.
Night,
so
Ka'ike has been a rousing success.
That was a little different because they paid a lot of money for him.
Yeah, they did, but he is 19 years old in MLS.
So I think you're getting players from your pathway that you can rely on. Pedrinho's another one, obviously, that's had a good role this season. So I hope that continues. Tarek Scott's getting more and more minutes over the recent weeks. Anthony Ramirez is there. Diego Garcia is there. These type of players that, look at Bo LaRue for San Jose. Nobody had him even penciled in as a contributor for the Earthquakes this season. He comes in, and Bruce Arena says, this guy's got something. And now he's 21-year-old, week in, week out starter, 4 goals, 4 assists in midfield for the Earthquakes. I mean, who's to say Dallas doesn't have a player like that waiting in the wings that just needs that opportunity? I think this is another example of a young player seizing that opportunity tonight.
I've been waiting on this Bo LaRue fun fact for the entire broadcast. He was cut from the Quakes U14 team at one point before he made his way back into the organization because the U14 coach didn't think he had a future.
Well, the U14 coach, I think I listened to the same interview as you, also cut Diego Luna from that same team. So that coach maybe needs to have a look in the mirror.
I don't know if he's coaching anywhere right now, but I'm sure glad he's not coaching for FC Dallas anywhere. At least I hope not. But before we turn off the open sign here and look ahead to a big night on Saturday, do we have any final thoughts on FC Dallas 2, San Jose 2?
Lineup will be very interesting on Saturday. I hope to see some of these guys rewarded. Obviously, you have to manage fatigue as well. That's a big one with some of the effort that was put out tonight. Quick turnaround. This is 3 games in 7 days. Team is in desperate need of points. Moose is in good form, and that always gives us a chance. We'll see you on Saturday.
Well, you're going to have a fresh Sebastian Lletget. We'll see what Urgueta can give them. And Logan Farrington didn't have to play a whole bunch of minutes, so he's a good option too.
Well, it's a big night for Dallas coming on Saturday, not just because they need 3 points at home, but because it's 90s night, and it'll be the debut of the brand-new third Dallas Burn anthem, whatever we're calling it. It's a really awesome Dallas Burn kit. If you haven't seen the pictures, please go to FCDallas.com. They're all over the place. Check it out. There's shoes, there's jackets, there's hats. It is a true throwback to the Dallas Burn era of the 90s.
People are so excited about this one, Sam.
Well, because it's awesome. I literally saw one person say that they thought it was FC Dallas's best ever kit. That's a big step, and I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point on Saturday. And by the way, on Saturday, FC Dallas legend Mark Dodd will join us for the full radio broadcast. He's a part of the festivities before the game. There's a ton of legends. Jason Christ is going to be here. Zarco's going to be here. I mean, come on.
You can ask Ryan. You can ask Mark Dodd what he remembers about that very first game.
He'll have a better memory
know,
than you.
He'll know more.
I think he'll have some good ideas for us.
I was just trying to make deadline that night.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we will talk about that all and more. But it's St. Louis City coming in, a team that's not in a great way. Boy, the state of Missouri not having a lot of fun with soccer this year between St. Louis and Kansas City. But it's a 7:30 kickoff here from Toyota Stadium. So 7 o'clock pregame on the FC Dallas Radio Network. FCDallasTickets.com. If you're still trying to get, there are limited tickets left. So if you're within the sound of my voice and you want to go now and get those tickets because there's not going to be many left. But we got you starting at 7 if you can't make it or you just want to listen to us in the house. We greatly appreciate that too. But that's going to do it for tonight's FC Dallas postgame show. FC Dallas draws San Jose 2-2 at PayPal Park. For engineer Barry Walters, for Ryan Figured, for Steve Davis, I have been Sam Hale. You've been listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
The preceding broadcast